everybody, welcome back to another KPC Weekend Live. Great to see y'all in the chat. Today we're going to be talking about a lot of Korean news, entertainment, society, politics, everything. So it's going to be a roller coaster ride, and I'll be chatting with you guys just about what's been happening in Korea, my life in general. To start with, first of all, I have my mood might be a little down today because it was a full day, and just to give you a little info, I had like a very bad cramp in my back today. I played tennis, and as soon as I played it, I think I got like a strain or something in my back, and it just like tangled up my muscles there, and I couldn't play for the next 2 hours. So yeah, that was that. But fortunately, I have a doctor friend that plays with me, and also we regularly go to a sauna right after tennis. So I got to visit the sauna, the bath first, and then there was like a jacuzzi pool with like, these pressurized bubbles coming out, and it was good to like, bathe inside and get like a water massage. Afterwards we went to the jjimjilbang, and we went to like the ice room, which is apparently good for my back pain. So yeah, like right now I'm in a little bit of pain, but tomorrow hopefully it gets well after a good night's sleep. And if it doesn't, I intend to. Oh no, my camera is disconnecting. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I intend to go to the doctor's office, take a visit to the hospital, and get some pain relievers or something like that. So yeah, just to let you know before we go on. And great to see y'all, everybody. Yes, Deanna, thank you so much for being a member. And don't forget to hit that like button, everybody. And so far we have 63 people in the chat. Welcome, everybody. Dude, at this time of the day, it's actually a morning show for you guys in Korea. Yes, as you can see in the background, I fixed my clock. It's like 1 minute early, I think, but it's 2:35 a.m. in the morning in Korea. Yes, good to see you too, Becky. Yes, thank you, Francesca. Toyland, thank you. Your lips need lip balm. They're hydrated. I just like have a habit of just tearing it down when I get like anxious or something, or I just get bored. So yeah, it's a little bit blistered, I guess. It is late indeed. Fast recovery, thank you. Hello, Kel. Yes. So yeah, I just came back from the sauna and the public bath, and then I took a little visit, had a little meeting with one of my OG subscribers from the DKDK days. She was visiting from the States, so had a little highball, glass of highball, and here I am. Sorry for being a little late than usual, but better late than never, right? Yes. Den, hello. Yes, I'm doing good, except for the back pain. Keep a watch on it. Yes. Yes. Why is this live so late? Who can wait for hours? Sorry, I'm so sorry. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, let's go on. As I told you, there's going to be a lot of news today, and then maybe for an hour, and then we will jump on into some more fun chats. So prepare your questions, prepare your topics, which you want to ask away. But just to give you a little preview on what we're going to be talking about, the most hated man in Korea, which is Steve Yoo. And also we have other topics such as K-Burger hitting the US. That's very interesting. NewJeans fails in mediation. And the president and the first lady, ex-president and first lady, are in prison now. And the current president gives a speech about North Korea and Japan. We have Taiwanese tourists in Busan being hyped up right now. K-pop labels killing it, Bulldog killing it. And oh, this is a very sad piece. Yeah, but we'll get to that soon. And in the meantime, we have PayPal memberships, so please do check it out if you want to support. But yes, hello again, everybody. I don't know what's wrong with the... Okay, there we go. That is perfect. Yes. Yeah. Okay, hope the back pain eases. Yeah, hopefully tomorrow I need some painkillers for sure. Okay, so if you don't have any questions in the meantime, let's go straight on into the news. So this guy called Steve Yoo, who's heard of him before? He goes by Steve Yoo or Yoo or Steven Yoo, and he is an American, a Korean American, and I put emphasis on that because it has a lot of meaning and significance to this story. So this guy is basically the most hated guy in Korea, I would say, with no exaggeration. And a local fan base recently supporting Steve Yoo, who goes by his Korean name Yoo, released a statement Tuesday urging President Lee Jae-myung to grant a Liberation Day special pardon for the Korean American singer. Yoo, who is 48 now, wow, has been banned from entering South Korea since 2002, so that's 23 years. He was banned when he was 25 years old. And he was banned because he dodged his military conscription by renouncing his Korean nationality for the US citizenship. So, to get facts straight, he not only renounced his Korean nationality for the US citizenship, it's a little bit more detailed than that. So he had a massive fan base apparently back then, which I didn't feel like. I was not very into the scene back then. I was probably a toddler or something like that, or a kid. And apparently he had a massive fan base, and he pledged to his fans and the country upon his popularity and stardom that he would definitely serve in the military, because that's a huge deal for these celebrities and idols, because they have to halt their successful careers and spend 2 or 3 years in the military, and that actually takes a big hit on your career, right? So it's a big thing, obviously, but it's a sacred and it's a obligation, duty for Korean men. However, after he publicly stated that he would indeed serve in the military, what happened was he was like, okay, I'll serve, and then he flew to the US because like he lived there for his teenage days, and he lived a substantial amount of time. I don't know if he was born there or not, but anyways, he had a dual citizenship, so he was eligible to reclaim his, like, choose a US citizenship, and that's what he did. Thus, he basically abandoned his Korean citizenship right after there was buzz. It was like the last minute, he really had to enlist, and when the time came, after pledging and promising so much that he would go to the military, he just flew to the US and abandoned his citizenship. And just like that, after that, because the whole country and his fans were so betrayed, they felt betrayed. After that, the what do you call it? The court or the justice, the Ministry of Justice, actually banned him from entering Korea with the logic that he is harming the public interest and sending the wrong message about military duty. So this ban actually covers all visas, and to this day he cannot visit as a tourist. Now, before we get into whether this is right or wrong, I have my own opinions. Let's see this article. Let's read it till the end. The little fans he has in Korea says, "We're not saying Yoo is not at fault, but that he has sufficiently shouldered social responsibility as a result. He should be given a new opportunity to live in Korean society." And to be fair, as I told you, since 2002, he's been banned to enter this country. So that's 23 years. That's longer than most of the prison sentences out there, right? Even if he dodged the military in Korea, I think that wouldn't hold this much as like an act, as like a sentence. I don't know, but yeah, the logic is he's done enough, right? He's done enough time, or it's now time. Like, we should open up for him. Like, he's a human being at the end of the day. Something like that, right? So people that are strict are still very opposing towards accepting him in this country. They're like, there shouldn't be exceptions. The law is the law, and if the Ministry of Justice bans him and the Supreme Court bans him to enter, then that's that. But I do feel like even if the Supreme Court and the Ministry of Justice is based on law, his case is such a high-profile and well-known case, which is swayed a lot by the public sentiment. Not gonna lie on that. Which gives me the feeling that there is a lot of like public sentiment pressuring the what do you call it, the ban towards him. So I'm not trying to advocate him or anything. I don't, honestly, for me, I could care less if he enters or not. But like, as let's just say I'm a third person, like I'm like a foreigner, whatever. I'm just like a non-Korean that doesn't care about this issue or whatever. Objectively speaking, 23 years is quite a long time. And also, on top of that, if I am a Korean and I know the ins and outs about the military system, and so far I've seen a lot of exemptions or preferential treatment or a lot of shady stuff that goes on with the military duty in terms of celebrities, chaebols, politicians and sons and whatever. They all find their ways out to like weasel out or dodge the military, at least in a legal way. But because they're not like super high profile or they do PR control or whatever, they get away from that. But this guy, he is just stuck there for more than 2 decades. And I guess the reasoning is he is now like the symbol of just like military duty. Like if you try to dodge military duty, this is the result you will get. So he's now an example which cannot be shattered or should not be which should be upheld until like eternity, so that it sends a message to the Korean people that you need to serve in the military. If you try to dodge it, this is what you'll get. So yeah, I know one part of me says like, okay, yeah, I've done my service too, fair and square, and all the other Korean men do it. There shouldn't be any exemptions. So yeah, this guy is, his ban from entering Korea is justified. But one part of me also says, as a, just as a human being, like, okay, like 23 years, it might have done enough. Like, like if he's, as long as he's not gonna do any profitable activities here, like as long as he's not gonna do a business here or do fan meets or anything, make any revenue, and he's just traveling and he just wants to see his home, like his homeland, and maybe visit some family that are here. If that's the case, like I would say like maybe a travel visa would be okay, but like it's a little bit too harsh. And I heard that the LA consulate and the Ministry of Justice and the Supreme Court, they all rejected his application to enter with all sorts of visas. So yeah, that's the situation. So basically one part of me understands the ban, but one part of me, feels bad for him to some extent. But I'm very careful on expressing this even too, because there are a lot of strict Korean people out there that would say like, what do you know about that? But I think I can have my own voice too, because I served my military service, and I am Korean. A lot of people mistake me as a Korean American when they don't know about my channel, and they just like jump into one of these live streams and they see a Korean looking guy which claims that he lives in Seoul but he speaks fluent English and he doesn't speak any Korean during the live streams. They're like, oh, this 검은 머리 외국인. That's like a kind of a derogatory term towards Korean Americans, saying that they're culturally detached. They don't know about like the Korean lifestyle. The fact that we use, like, I shouldn't say we because I'm not Korean American, but the fact that Kyopos or Korean Americans, they distinguish Korean Americans and Korean Koreans and use the word Korean itself is a statement, but I just see it as like a way to conveniently say like the local Koreans versus like the Korean Americans. But anyways, so yeah, like when people, if you're a Korean and you're watching this and you still don't know about my background and you're assuming that I'm Korean American, I'm not, and that's not the reason I'm soft for this guy. I'm just like a same human being that's finished my military service, and I feel like, you know, it's been some time, like 23 years. Yeah, 23 years. Wow. Yeah, but that's just my opinion, and whatever I say, I'm just a random guy on the internet, and I think the majority is still not ready to accept him in our society. So yeah, that's that. But what I'm saying is, you know, there are a lot of loopholes and there are a lot of exceptions that have been already made for a lot of different celebrities and powerful people, but he's just the scapegoat and the example been made, and he's hanging there on the wall just as like, look at him, you know, this guy, he can never enter Korea. So I feel like that's a little unfair, to be honest, but you can have different opinions. Now let's go to the chat and see what you think. Yeah. Let's see. Just now joining, never heard of Steve Yoo. Yeah, you could do some research on it on Wikipedia. He's apparently been very famous back in the days in Korea. He's had a massive fandom. He was the idol who avoided drafting. Yes, hello Aaron. And more hated than Johnny Somali. Well, to be fair, Johnny Somali is not a Korean. He's like a outsider and he's a foreigner. So like, he is of Korean ethnicity and he once had a dual citizenship. So yeah, among the Korean, he's not a Korean citizen anymore, but yeah, anyways, you know what I'm saying, right? Is it Kim Jong-kook? No, I don't know why Kim Jong-kook is coming out here. That's how he screwed himself, and now he wants to return. Yeah. No one should be forced to serve in the military. An army of free will professional soldiers is much more effective. Yeah, but then we won't have enough people. That's the problem. Yeah. I heard he wasn't able to go to his father's funeral because of the ban. Oh, is that true? Yeah, I think I heard about that too. Yeah, that's a little... Yeah. They should have made like a 3-day exception for him. Something like that. That's kind of sad. I thought he was allowed to visit but not work. He wants to work in Korea. That's the issue. That's what I thought too, but I cross-checked right before this live stream, and apparently he's not able to even visit as well. This might be false too, because like there's a huge mixture and flood of information on the internet, which is either mistranslated or excerpted or whatever. But yeah, last time I checked before this live, he's banned from all sorts of form of visiting. So yeah. Was he actually born in Korea? If so, I can understand some people's annoyance, but anyone eligible is surely entitled to apply for American citizenship if they wish. He had a dual citizenship. Yeah. Let me just type search it up. Let's see. Okay, it says that he was born in South Korea in 1976. Born in Korea, raised in the US, debuted back in Korea as a singer. So he had a US permanent resident green card, I guess. He grew up in California until like middle school, so he was eligible for the US citizenship, and when his age hit for the military service and he was being drafted, he flew back, and within like a couple days or something, he went back on his words and he chose the US citizenship. And then that became like super viral and a controversy in Korea, and then he was by that day banned to return to Korea. So yeah, quite an interesting story, I would say. We had mandatory military service in Germany before the reunification. There were methods to weasel out of it. Yeah, even to this day, there are a lot of brokers or medical, like doctors that make fake charts for you or stuff like that. There are so many ways to weasel your way out, especially for rich people that have the strings and the resources. Unfortunately, I didn't, so I had to go serve. But it was a nice experience, and I'm proud that I got to serve my country in a way, and that I'll be drafted whenever there's some kind of conflict. Yeah. I definitely feel bad and understand why they did it, but 20 plus years is a long time. I definitely think they should let him back in. I'm not sure they'd go this far if he wasn't such a big figure. Exactly, that's what I'm talking about. He's just there as a example. But realistically, local Koreans and Koreans abroad are different. Same in my country. Yeah, like different cultural backgrounds, different language, yeah, stuff like that. I understand enforcing bans to discourage weaseling out of military service, but even ban his tourist visa seems a bit harsh, especially after so many years. Exactly. So yeah, I think there are some people now kind of shifting, like, let's just let this guy go. Like, it doesn't even look good for us at this point anymore. Yeah. What is your background? Are you Canadian? Tell up. Okay, for the 100th time. I was born in Seoul in 1992. Stayed here until I was 3. I moved to Ottawa, Canada, and then stayed there for like 4 years. Learned my English there. Then moved to Baltimore, Maryland. Stayed there for 3.5 years. So my total stay in the Northern American region was 6 to 7.5 years, something like that. Came back to Korea, to Busan, when I was 10 to 11 years old, somewhere around there. And then ever since, I was in Busan until my high school education, and then for college I came up to Seoul. And when I came to Seoul, it was 2011, so I've been living here in Seoul for 13 years so far. So I'm perfectly Korean. My heritage is Korean. I would define myself more as a Korean because my values, my mindset, my cultural background, my language proficiency is all just more geared towards the Korean way. I was just privileged enough to pick up the English language when I was abroad. And yeah, I refined it when I was here in cram school and academies, preparing for the TOEFL exam and all that. And I had the opportunity to become a YouTuber, a global YouTuber, so I just got better and better as much as I practiced and talked over the screen, talking to you guys and my subscribers. So yeah, that's my background. Yeah. Yes, Danny did a video on this before, and it's like a recurring theme every single year. I think he tries to enter the country like regularly. I would try myself too if I was in his shoes. I think he even has like a YouTube channel, and he kind of made fun of himself unintentionally by like kneeling down and apologizing wholeheartedly to the country, and like he was like looking back and reflecting about his past, and he thought it was very short-sighted and blah blah blah. But the apology wasn't accepted, and everybody was just clowning him up. And after that, I think he started to hold a grudge, and he started becoming more aggressive and outspoken about like his frustration and anger and like the illogical rulings of the court and all that. So yeah, so it's just like a repetitive circle and loop that happens every single year. I saw he wants to return to be an idol. I don't think he'll be able to do an idol because he was born in 1976, so that makes him, how old is he? He's 1976. You do the math. 24 plus 25. So that's like 49. A 49-year-old idol? Like, the sky's the limit, but yeah, that's very unlikely. There is this one anomaly, this guy called Yang Junil, that just came out of nowhere. And he got like a bit of stardom and spotlight for a while. He was on U-Quiz and a lot of TV shows, but I think it's now withered out. He still has his core fan base, like a lot of ajumas, and he puts out some weird music here and there. But yeah, I respect his hustle, and as long as he's happy and the fans are happy. But for Steve Yoo, I don't know. Like, the moment he starts an activity as an idol in Korea, he's gonna get like boycotted and banned and canceled so hard. How can he unban himself for this? Does he have to wait for Korea to unban him? Yes, technically. So he's been filing like complaints and visas and applying for every single path he has. He's gone through like legal consultation and everything, apparently. But like these three organizations, the LA Consulate, the Ministry of Justice, and the Supreme Court, have all rejected. Yeah. And it's kind of like, you know, I don't think this might be the right comparison, but it just clicks to me right now because this has been on the news so far. So you know how President Trump is making all these tariffs and like these deportations with ICE and like cleaning up the city, all under the justification of national security. Like it's an emergency, a national crisis, or you know, it's a threat to society. So that's the exact logic these aforementioned organizations are saying, because it's harming our society. It's not in the best interest of our society to let this man in, and that message, what message it could send to our society. Yeah. So I think technically it makes sense, but also it's kind of a stretch at the same time. Like, it's a dual feeling. And I don't want to be too outspoken on it, as well. As I told you, I don't want to get viral on the internet and get canceled and be painted as a Korean American guy who supports Steve Yoo. Like, I'm just gonna go about on my day and live my normal life. Yeah, so. But I'm just telling you guys that such an example and this kind of a guy exists. So if you want to do more digging, feel free to. I didn't know South Korean citizens could have dual citizenship. Yeah, they can. They can have. I know some people that have dual citizenships. I think Subini has a dual citizenship. Yeah. At one point, though, they have to choose. At one point. Especially for men, for the military, you have to choose. For women, I think you have a time frame of like a decade or something, or something like that. The methods for gaining Korean citizenship are expanding, but some of them are kind of funny. I can imagine. Like, I heard it's pretty hard. Yeah. Of course, there's like the language test, and there's like the assimilation cultural test and all that, or you having a proper job, you have to prove that, or like there's the spouse citizenship visa or whatever. But there are a lot of foreigner friends I know personally that want to make a life here, but they're struggling so hard because they can't enlong their visas, or they're trying to get like a citizenship, but the hurdles are and technicalities are sometimes too difficult. David, would you join the army if you weren't forced to? Does your love for the country go that far? My honest answer is no. I think deep down, unless you're a super big patriot, a lot of people would say no. And I think it's a candid answer because, quite honestly, imagine you're in your early 20s. You have infinite potential. You haven't discovered, or maybe you're in the path of discovering what you're good at, what you're interested in. You have maybe a lovely partner in a relationship, or you're just about to bloom because like your early 20s, you just graduated high school, you're getting to know about society and making significant meaningful relationships, either like dating or friends or whatever. You're getting to know a little bit about like your major and your interests and all that, but then everything just goes in a halt for 2 years. You're isolated from society. You don't get to see any friends, family, women. Yeah, you have to do very difficult physical labor every single day, and technically you are in danger of getting into military combat with the foe, North Korea. Oops, I shouldn't say this. This is related. If you want to hear why my reaction is like this, stay tuned for the next news. But yeah, considering all that kind of stuff, of course, if you're a rational person, like if you weigh the pros and the cons, the only pro of being enlisted in the military is that you are serving your country, which is, I understand, a sacred thing, which can be complimented and praised. But yeah, if you think in an individual kind of mindset, you're losing a lot of opportunity. It's not cost efficient, I would say. Whereas, some of your friends that might have got exempted, or some women that are in the same school, are grinding in the library, getting more certificates and whatever. And yeah, internships, also partying and clubbing and having fun, meeting oppas, traveling. So like, well, my moment when I felt a little depressed was right before I went to the military. So I got my draft note, and they usually give it to you in advance. Like, I don't remember specifically, but it was more than 6 to 9 months in advance. And I got my draft, and I remember it was March 28th. That was the date. So I was like, okay, yeah, I have like this much time left. What am I gonna do until then? Like, I want to live it to the fullest. It feels like the apocalypse is coming. So yeah, I went on a backpacking trip to Australia with my friends, and we were very broke back then. We barely afforded the plane tickets, and then we slept at a backpacker's place with 20 people in the same room with bunker beds. It was filthy. It was good. Like, it was cost efficient. But there we made a lot of friends with global travelers, and I feel we got to talk with a lot of like European travelers. And while we were just like talking over a beer, they were like, so what's your plan for the future? Like, why you're traveling? What do you see? Where do you see yourself after this and stuff? And we were like, oh, I'm going to the military in like in 6 months. And they were like, whoa, what? And I asked them back, like, what are you doing? Like, what's your plan? And he's like, I don't know. Like, I'm taking a gap year or something. Like, I just graduated from high school, or like they're in their freshman year or whatever. And they have like this policy or whatever they can take advantage of, and they can go for, usually a lot of Europeans take that time to backpack throughout Europe or a lot of different countries to Asia or whatever, and they ended up in Australia. And I was so jealous when I heard that, because they didn't seem pressured to get on track, or they didn't seem anxious about having to serve the military or something. They had a lot of time, relatively. 2 years is a lot. 2 years, like, to exaggerate a little bit, if you're Mark Zuckerberg, you can make Facebook in a year, right? Like, technically speaking. Like, 2 years, you never know what could happen. And to just compare myself with those Europeans where I was talking with, and their free mindset, they were like, I don't know, I'm just like, finding myself. And these people were working at a bakery in Melbourne, I think. And I was like, why are you working in a bakery? And isn't that kind of a waste of time? Like, shouldn't you be traveling other places too? And they were like, I don't have that much money, so I might as well just work here. Maybe, who knows, I might get into pastry, or I might be into the food business. And yeah, it's good vibes here. Like, I go surfing on the weekends, and yeah, all that kind of stuff. So I was like so jealous, because they just have more time and yoyu, the luxury to discover what they're good at, and more options, and to see the world. Maybe this is like a first world kind of point of view, but like the grass is always greener on the other side. But then it really hit me hard that, like, Korean men have it pretty hard in terms of potential and liberty, and the military service is like a big toll on a person's life, if you think about it. Yeah, and I think because of those lost time, I think right after we graduate, we go straight to the library, and we jump right into the employment market, and we cram hard. We try to do internships and do contests, apply into contests, and get our TOEFL scores and whatever. We grind, because we've already lost 2 years. So my honest answer to that is no, but I don't regret going to the military. If you love Korea as a citizen, you should defend it and not other. Take the burden. Oh, yeah, Steve Yoo is taking the burden right now, for sure. It's a hefty burden. He's 48, right? But why can't they just keep both citizenships, though? I don't think it works that way. Like, I think in terms of a lot of judiciary or financial reasons, at least, like, just two, you have to pick. Because I am no expert in this, but if you just think about it logically, let's say you commit a crime, then which law are you going to be enforced by? Or let's say you have to pay taxes for your income, which you can't just choose the better one, right? So in terms of that, I think you'd have to choose because of governmental system, or taxes, or health care, military, in a nation's point of view. Yeah, it has to be clear for the country which citizenship do you have and which system do you go by. So that's the logical reason I can think of. Wait, I might be wrong, but last time I researched, you have to give up at a certain point. Let me just fact check right now. Shit, in Korea forever. It's generally not allowed permanently for most people. Yep. So the standard rule is South Korea requires most people with dual citizenship to choose one nationality by a certain age, usually before 22 years old, if born with two nationalities, or within 1 year after naturalization if they acquire a foreign nationality later. If they do not make a choice, the government can strip Korean citizenship. The exceptions are where you can keep dual citizenship for life is talented individuals, people recognized as having outstanding talent in areas such as science, culture, or sports may be granted permission to keep both. Or overseas Koreans returning, some older Koreans who emigrated abroad and then required Korean citizenship can keep both as long as they sign a pledge not to exercise foreign citizenship rights while in Korea. And there are special cases, such as women who married foreign nationals and acquired foreign citizenship, or certain individuals with significant contributions to Korea may also keep dual status under special approval. So for all of these exceptions, they need special approval from a government body. Yeah. So, yeah, other than these special exceptions, the standard rule is you have to choose a nationality for a certain age. I think most men would say no. Yeah. I know a lot of people, like all of the men don't want to go, honestly. Like even when they're in the military, they're always like, oh, this sucks. Oh, I want to go out. I can't wait to get, discharged. Oh, all we think of is just getting out. Thank you, Bronny. I am having a wonderful night. It is 3-6 in Seoul, yes. Do you think if the war does that not go hand in hand with the Korean male image of protector, North and South Korea ends, there will be the need for this compulsory military service? I am not getting the full meaning of your sentence. Yeah, I don't know. My brain is frozen right now. I'm sorry. I heard you can delay during doing the military service by using university studies as an excuse. What are the other valid excuses you can have to delay it? Yeah, that is true. You can delay for academics. Mostly people around me, what I see, they've extended their military service because they've either went to like grad school, and that can be an excuse, or they're pursuing their PhD and onwards. Yeah, if you're in certain like art sectors, or if you're like a talent, like a national talent, such as a sports star or a K-pop idol that's huge, that's gotten like a cultural ambassador medal, like BTS or something, usually there might be special exemption, special, what do you call it, delays. Yeah. Other than that, I don't know. If you work in like, even if you're not like a college student, if you work in a special kind of industry, like let's say the semiconductor industry or like a science facility, and you're dealing with very high tech or critical information or technology, for some of those cases, they give you like an alternative option to become like a industry expert worker or something like that as well. Anyways, wow, you guys are very interested in this topic, aren't you? How common is bullying in the military? It used to be very common. In my day, it was a transition era, so I saw both sides. When I enlisted and when I went in, bullying was super prevalent. It was super brutal. There was physical and mental bullying at the same time, verbal bullying, all sorts of bullying. I can, yeah. I didn't go through it because I had three of us went into that base at the same time, and out of the three of us, I was the best, and the other two were kind of not very good at their jobs, or they didn't really have social skills or whatever. So they didn't really have good physical abilities. So if you're like jogging and doing laps around the field, they would, you know, they would not be good. They would be slow or panting or whatever, and then they get kicked or slapped. Or there's this other guy out of us three. So one was just very physically weak, so he always got bullied by that, and he had like a funny kind of appearance, so people made fun about his appearance a lot. I mean, I'm very healthy. I have good, stamina, so I was keeping up. And there was this other guy. He was very good too in like all the work and stamina, but he lacked nunchi. So nunchi is a big thing too. And the one event that actually made it all go downhill for him was he was actually very good in all the tasks, but then on the second day we were registered to that base. There's a thing called no touch time. There was a thing called no touch time by policy in our base and in the entire police force. And what it basically means is after the whole duty for the whole day, whether if it ends at 8 p.m. or 10 p.m., we are granted a thing called no touch time for 2 hours. So let's say it's from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. You can take a shower, you can do your laundry, you can go to like the 3 computers where everyone's in line for, and usually the seniors all take the seats, and you could play billiards or table tennis, which is usually for the seniors as well too. So like the newbies, the freshmen, they usually just have to sit on their beds and memorize like words or terminology or tasks, or there's a lot of things to memorize. For us, we had to memorize the map of Seoul because that's our patrol area. We had to memorize all our seniors' names and their ranks. We had to memorize like certain words or codes that the police use because we have to differentiate language with the common people. Also, we have to memorize like strategies, formations to like effectively, control the protest and all that. So a lot of things to memorize, an order of duties, like things you need to do. So like tons of things to memorize. And normally, an obedient and good soldier like me would just actually sit on their bed, look in their notebook, and try to memorize everything. And usually the seniors come to you in a random day. If you do something wrong, usually they come up to you, and because they need justification to bully you, they'd be like, okay, so what's the second bridge on the Cheonggyecheon? What's the name of the second bridge that goes through Seoul? Like, what's the 5th bridge right next to Hannam Bridge on Hangang River? And if you can't give them an answer, like, they'll be like, okay, what's the name of the Jongno precinct's who's the head police there? And if you can't give the name, they'd be like, oh, were you slacking off? Like, you're not even doing your task right, but you didn't even memorize in your free time. So they would physically bully you. They would, do whatever bad stuff they can do to you. Anyways, going back, this other guy, he, on the second day, like, even if it's no touch time and the rules are rules, and basically nobody should touch you during that time, and you have the freedom to do whatever you do. This dude packed his books and he went to the library of our base. There's a library and you can study there. You can study for like exams or TOEFL or whatever, certificates. And he went there on the second day, and he was back on time, but somebody saw him there. One of our seniors saw him, and I guess he ratted him out. It's not even ratting, like he's a newbie here. And he was like, you know what? Like, I went to the library and I saw this newbie like studying. Isn't it like day 2 for him? He's out of his mind. And he got so bullied. He got bullied the hell out until like there was this huge transition. Yeah. And we had like this whole reformation in the police force. And then things got a little better. But yeah, because of that, yeah, he was just like labeled as a crazy guy. Anyways, yeah, that question got far. Let's see. I might be stalling on this topic too long. Okay, let me skip some comments. I can't answer every single one of them. I'm sorry. We need to proceed to the next topics. Earlier in Sweden, it was mandatory to do military conscription in order to vote and get a citizenship. Oh, the right to vote and get a citizenship. Oh, that's very interesting. So before that, you can't be a citizen. It makes sense, though. If you want to have a right as a citizen, do your duty. And if military service is a part of your duty, then definitely, yeah, it makes sense. David, as a Singaporean guy, I know how it feels to lose 2 years of your life to mandatory service. So even though I just turned 30, I should be 28. Yeah, I understand. And also, once you're done with military, usually Korean guys go when they're like 22, 3-ish. And once you're out, like you're 25, 26, maybe. Like 24 to 26. And you go back to school. And you get considered as an old guy, a grandpa, from the people who are just entering now. And if you go to like these meet and greets, they are always like giving you the side, like, oh, why is he here? Oh, he smells like the military or something like that. Wow, there are a lot of comments today. Do you get to choose your military job? Normally, no. They just randomly assign you. But if you have some kind of specialties and you get picked up by an officer specifically, they're like, oh, you're really good at that. They could assign you to some special job. Hello, Carol. Sunny San Diego, just after 11 a.m. Here it's 3:30. I'm sorry, I have to skip a lot of your comments. Yeah, there's too many. What are the things men usually dread the most when enlisting? The things I all mentioned, like losing 2 years of your life. Precious 2 years of your life. It's not like, no offense, but it's not like losing your 2 years of life when you're 74 to 76. It's like 24 to 26. When you're thriving and when you're active. And also, a lot of people break up. So the breakups and relationships, that's a lot of things they dread. And there's a lot of worrying about like bullying inside. Nowadays it's okay. Like, some people even joke, I don't like, this joke, but some people even joke now it's like the Boy Scouts, because the culture has changed so much. You can't bully, you can't do anything to your subordinates. They can even use smartphones for a specific time. And some people even trade stocks and crypto inside. Apparently that's very popular. So back in the day, we didn't have phones or anything. All we had were like probably 2 or 3 computers that the seniors dominate for the whole base. So the only things we could do were either sit in our room and watch M Countdown or Music Bank and watch female idols and drool over them, or go outside and play football. So nowadays the running meme is the Gen Z and millennials, when there was like a transition between them. The millennials, a lot of people go to the gym too. So the millennials would do more physical activities like playing sports, like playing football or going to the gym. So when we were having that transition era, the last generation of the millennials would go to the newly enlisted Gen Z and say, who wants to go play football? And normally, because of the authority, that's not a question, it's a demand. It's like, who wants to go play football means assemble in the soccer field right now in 10 minutes, and you either be the goalkeeper or the defenders, and I'll be the offense, and I'll score goals, and you guys make me happy. That's the meaning of that statement. But there was a meme in Korean community saying nowadays in military, it's like a guy comes to the room and says, who wants to play football? And this guy's the senior, and the guys would just all look up and go back to their smartphones and play League of Legends or whatever, trade stocks on their phones, or do Kakao Talk with their girlfriends. So people are like, oh my gosh, military nowadays isn't even military. Yeah. It's like how school changed when corporal punishment got banned. To some sense, to a sense. Okay, so I think I've talked enough about the military, starting from Steve Yoo. So yeah, hope this man finds some peace, even if he can't visit Korea. I mean, I think he's pretty well off in Cali, in LA, right? So, I mean, I can't dare to actually understand what he's going through internally and how much he would want to visit Korea. But yeah, hopefully he gets what he wants someday. Hopefully Korea folds. I'm not rooting for it proactively, but yeah. Let's see what happens. So speaking of the US, I thought this was hilarious. So the Korean burger chain Lotteria has made a sizzling debut in the United States with its pre-opening event, drawing large crowds despite the sweltering heat in the homeland of fast food. Lotteria opened its first US store on Monday in Fullerton, California, a city with a large population of Korean and other Asian residents, industry sources said Wednesday. And apparently they have bulgogi burgers, which is a signature Korean hamburger. And when I saw this, I saw a lot of vlogs and news saying like they had to wait 2 hours in line to get a Lotteria burger. And I was like, okay, there might be hype because it's like opening day, but for Lotterias? Really? Like, if you've been to Korea, you've probably come across a Lotteria one time. And if you go there, their burgers, no offense, no, actually offense, they taste like cardboard to me. Lotteria is not good. What would you expect from fast food, though? Like, okay, if you go against you put it against like McDonald's, Burger King, and Lotteria, I would say Lotteria is on the lower end of that. Even among Koreans, like we do not have pride for Lotteria. I can say this for sure. Like it's like a friendly name or a franchise that we've seen and eaten and grown up with, but nobody has actual pride in it. Maybe it's the same sentiment where which Americans have for McDonald's. And seeing this being exported to the US and people lining up for it, I get it because it's first day of open. There might be virality and hype behind it. These people might all be YouTubers, or they just might want to post it on their Instagram stories. But I would be very surprised to see this popularity continue throughout like a couple months or years. Like if you go to California, you go to In-N-Out, right? And you see lines of people. It's always booming. There's like lines of pickups and cars in the lot, and they're getting like orders. And I was like, wow, I was mind blown. Like, wow, how much people love In-N-Out. And I don't think it's that tasty. It's good. It's better than McDonald's and Lotteria, but I don't really get that much hype on why you would be in the parking lot waiting in line for more than like 30 minutes to an hour. But Lotteria, really? Yeah. But I would say if you come to Korea, it doesn't really matter. Either go to a McDonald's or a Lotteria, either one of those two, and get a bulgogi burger. Because that's like a local meal, right? It's a localized meal. You can only get it in Korea. So a bulgogi burger isn't super special. It's like teriyaki sauce, basically. And the patty's supposed to be Korean beef, and it has the bulgogi sauce on it. But yeah, just for fun. I mean, I always go to McDonald's whenever I go to other cities because I'm a cheap lad. I'm a cheap guy, and I just like to go through the kiosk and the menu and see what kind of localized menus they have. I still have so much complaints about Korean Lotteria on why they don't have hot sauce. Because that was the best thing when I was in Singapore. When I went to a Singaporean McDonald's, they always have next to the ketchup a hot sauce pumper, the chili sauce. And chili sauce with the McDonald's fries are so good. Chef's kiss. But it's such an easy thing, and we have so much chili sauce over here. And I think it would fly, but for some reason, they don't adopt it. Maybe someone has never brought it up, but like chili sauce should be normalized in Korean McDonald's, I'm saying. But yeah, anyways. I was just yapping about some stupid stuff. Chili sauce. Let's see. Did you see your PayPal? Oh, I'm delighted to see my PayPal. Yay! Let's see. Charlene, thank you so much for the 25 I love your Sunday lives. Pizza, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Charlene. Bulgogi is a cheat code, yo. It's good. It's good. It's sweet, though. Like, have you ever had a sweet hamburger? Sweet and salty. The Filipino chain Jollibee made it into the US too. I heard that Jollibee is actually good. I want to try Jollibee. I haven't tried Jollibee, but I know that there's a lot of hype behind it. And Jollibee is a massive fast food chain. It's also bought some franchises from Korea. The one BTSV, Tay, was a model for. There's a brand called Compose Coffee. And it was one of the competitors for the cheap coffee market here with Mega Coffee, Mammoth Coffee, Pex Coffee, and then there was Compose Coffee. Compose was like the late starter, late runner, but then it got super popular, maybe because of V's modeling, but Jollibee acquired it for a massive amount. So yeah. A Panda Express is gonna open up in your town soon. I've never been to one, so I'm excited to go and try out the food. I love Panda Express. I wish there were more Panda Expresses in Korea. There's only one I can think of in IFC Mall in Yeouido. That's the most unexpected place I would see a Panda Express, because IFC Mall is where it's basically in the middle of the Korean equivalent of Wall Street here. It's like where all the finance bros work. It's like a nice flashy mall, and they have like good diners and restaurants, and then in the middle of it there's a Panda Express. And because not a lot of Koreans know about the image of Panda Express in the US, they think it's like a nice restaurant, and it's a unique concept. Like it's like Chipotle or Subway. You can choose whichever orange chicken or yeah, and it's very overpriced over here. But I love Panda Express. Whenever I go to LAX, there's a Panda Express in the food court there. I always have it before I fly. It's the hype. People will eventually not like the taste and it'll die down. I love how you're so certain and affirmative about that. Americans don't have pride with KFC. Korean KFC is actually good, I would argue. I don't know if there's a drastic difference because I've never done a comparison, but Korean KFC is actually pretty good. It's pretty up there. Yeah. And they recently launched like a thing called Chitza. It's chicken plus pizza. They have like a chicken piece and they cover on top of it with cheese and pizza toppings like pepperoni and black olives and all that. And I tried it out. It was pretty good. If people wait 2 hours and it's not good, it's going to ruin their reputation. Yeah, it's kind of like what happened in Gangnam when Shake Shack first came in and Five Guys first came in. Everybody waited for 2 to 3 hours, and I guess Shake Shack and Five Guys do live up to their rep because it's I think objectively pretty good. Better than McDonald's and Lotteria for sure. So yeah. Today's KPC is proudly presented by Lotteria. If it was, I wouldn't be shitting on them too so much. If they sponsored me, I'd be like, Lotteria is the best thing in the world. You should definitely try their bulgogi burger and their shrimp burger. And Lotteria is famous for their rice burgers too. They have a thing called pop burger. So the buns are not bread, it's rice. And I've never tried it before, but a lot of people like it. They think it's like onigiri or like a meal. In-N-Out isn't all that to me. I don't think In-N-Out is that good either. The point is, if something is better than McDonald's and you can get in and out of the restaurant fast and the food is decent, then that is good enough. I guess, though, I never have tried out that place. McDonald's is not cheap in the US anymore. That's what I heard. I saw the news the day before, and it said more and more people are not buying McDonald's, eating at McDonald's, because the lower class has stopped eating McDonald's because food prices have gone up and consumer prices for McDonald's have gone up. It's less affordable. But actually, the middle and upper class consumption of McDonald's, it was pretty low, but that has gone up a little bit. That's what I saw in the reports the other day. What do you think of the Swedish Nordic McDonald's? Oh yeah, I definitely went. But I don't think... Oh yeah, I went to a Swedish McDonald's. It was okay. It was good. But then I really loved the local brand. Was it Smash Burgers? Or Max Burgers? I think it was Max. Or is that Danish? I had a Max Burger and that was really good. I have some footage on my vlog, which I don't know what is going to come out. But yeah, it was pretty good. Max Burgers. I remember that. Mm. Oh wow, I'm so late on the chat. People are talking about chili sauce here. Whataburger. I've heard some good stuff about Whataburger. That's in the South, right? It's from. Is it from Texas? Uh, the thing is, there was this one girl I met. She was Korean American, and we were kind of like, getting to know each other, going out, I guess. And this topic occurred about like food from the US. So she was essentially in Korea for like an occasion, and she was studying back in the US. And that's why like I took her out to like Korean places and the food was all good, but then she would always say like, "Oh, I miss like the US food so much. Like I would die if I could have like something right now." And it was all like US food, which I wouldn't have a clue about. And then at one point she kept on saying like, "Oh, I want Chipotle so much. Chipotle." And I was like, "What's Chipotle? I haven't had Chipotle." And her eyes became like super open and wide. And she was like, "You've never had Chipotle before? No way, bro." And I was like, "So am I missing out? Like, is it that good?" And she was like, "How? Oh my gosh!" And she was so enthusiastic about Chipotle. I was like, "Okay, chill, girl, and I'll try it when I go to LA next time." And she was like, "Yeah, dude, do try it and let me know how it tastes, because it's like the best thing ever." I went to Chipotle. I couldn't even finish the whole thing. It was good. The experience was interesting. Like you could get like all that stuff. You could choose all of it. But at the end, it was okay. It wasn't bad or anything. It was okay. But like the quantity was too much. The serving was too much, and I couldn't finish it. And I felt bad because normally I don't leave food, and I don't waste food. But that day I had to like throw away maybe like 1/3 of it because it was like a lot. What, this is one serving? How do people actually eat all this? And we were all with Koreans, like we were in a group of 5, and not a single person was able to finish it. We were all saying like, "Oh, we should have just ordered like 3 and shared." Yeah. But if you're a Chipotle lover, I'm sorry. It was okay. Okay, you guys are talking about chicken now. It was a Max Burger. Yes, Max Burger was really good. I haven't tried Chick-fil-A yet. Chipotle is overrated, plus they have workers serve food when they're sick. What? How was she craving Chipotle over all the delicious food in Korea? She must have had the taste palate of a child. Huh. I eat Chipotle for 2 meals. Yeah, no wonder. Chipotle is just fine. That's why we have an epidemic of obesity in the US. Our portion sizes are insane. I guess. Yeah, when I went to Denny's. Yeah, when I went to Denny's and IHOP, I ordered like just one of the basic dishes. It was probably like $25 or something, 28, and it was massive. I barely finished it. Did Chipotle ruin that relationship? No. The relationship was all gone way before I even got to eat Chipotle. So I never actually got back to her about like my review. And that's good, I think. I wouldn't want to let her down about her enthusiasm about Chipotle. I like your voice, thank you. $5 Subway foot long. So a funny story about Subway. Okay, I'm going on a lot of tangents. It seems like it's gonna be a long live again. I was I was trying to cut this live short because I realized that I always start these live streams with the target of maybe doing an hour and a half, but with the first news, I feel like we've already passed that hour and a half point. But for Subway, again, back to Australia, because we were broke students. I remember we were staying at a place called King's Cross. Apparently it was not the best part of town, but it had affordable accommodation, and it had like this rundown guest house which gave us free rice. It was an Asian guest house, a backpackers. It's like $13 a night or something like that. And yeah, we were at King's Cross, and we stayed there for I think over a week, and we got used to the supermarket nearby. There's a massive Coca-Cola sign over there, and there's like a supermarket and McDonald's right beneath, and that was our go-to place to get groceries because we couldn't afford eating out. And we went to the supermarket every single day to get our groceries, but because we were all broke, we had to cut our meals with a budget of like less than $5 to $6 every single meal. So first of all, we tried to get like cereal and milk, and we could share that, and but like after 2 days we were all done because it's like 3 people and we were eating like cereal 2 times a day. So we were done with that, and we were like, I'm kind of done with cereal. But then we discovered we never even thought in our minds, because beef is pretty expensive in Korea. I just checked out the beef corner, and surprisingly, the beef was so cheap. It was so cheap. I'm telling you, a steak that was as big as my face, it was like $5. I kid you not. This was like 2000, I don't know, 16, 17? And the beef price was so cheap. I was like, boys, come over here. Look at this. That is pure protein over there, and it's cow. We gotta get this. And they were surprised too. Like, we're gonna have a steak party today. And we bought that big loaf of beef, and we took it to our guest house, and we have like a very shitty kitchen pantry and like a fry pan, and we started grilling that beef, and it was actually pretty good. It was decent, and we were eating it with the rice that was free of charge over there. I was like, oh, this is actually pretty good, like beef and rice, Asians. And after that, I think for 4 days straight, like 4 to 5 days, we got addicted to all the beef. So one day we would go for like sirloin. One day we would go for tenderloin. One day we would go for like other parts, and we were exploring all these different parts of beef. And it was like so good for us, because like in Korea that would cost like $20, and it was like 1/4 the price. So we were like, I'm loving Australia. But then, okay, this part, it kind of gets dirty. So if you're eating something, if you don't want to hear dirty stuff, like block your ears. After those 5 days, obviously, we started experiencing some symptoms of not malnutrition, but a nutrition balance failure, I would say. And we were having digestion problems, and I was having very bad constipation, and basically I couldn't go to the bathroom. And even if I went to the bathroom, it was very painful, and yeah, like nothing was coming out, and even if it came out, it was very painful and very bad. I won't go into the details. So yeah, that's when we realized, oh yeah, we need to put some extra bucks and get some veggies, right? But apparently, I don't know. Like, some people say my memory is rigged or something whenever I tell this story. But like, when we went to the supermarket, the I think relatively, like, the veggies and the fruits might have been cheap, but then in our lens, because compared to the beef, the veggies were pretty much the same price as the beef. We were like, if beef is this much and vegetables are this much, we're gonna choose beef every day. And I think that's why we thought veggies were quite expensive. So we were like, we're not getting the veggies and fruits. So, but then we realized, oh yeah, for our bodies are craving veggies now. We need some green. And because the veggies were expensive to us, we were like, oh my gosh, I wanna be able to go to the bathroom in comfort. We're testing our limits now, and because we couldn't afford the veggies at the groceries, our last resort was Subway. And believe it or not, that's the first time in my whole life that I've tried a Subway. I've never tried a Subway when I was in the US when I was young. Maybe it wasn't a thing back then. Maybe it was not in my area. I was in Baltimore. Or maybe I was just a kid, so I didn't have access to it. But my first Subway was in Australia, in Sydney, and we went in and saw like all the lettuce and the tomatoes and the olives and everything over there, and we were like, oh, if we order a sandwich, which was like, I think $5 to $6 a half, 15 centimeter, if we order that, do we get those too? And the service worker was like, yeah. And then we were like so thrilled in our discovery, like, we can get some veggies and green for that price, and even some bread and meat with it. And we were so thrilled, and we went for it. And for 3 days straight, we went to Subway over and over again, switching the menus from like Italian BMT to like whatever. And yeah, I remember that. That was my first time ordering Subway, and it was very hard and difficult for me because we had to choose everything, and we were in a foreign country, and it was very pressuring for us. But that's a cute story that I remember. How I got introduced to Subway, because lack of nutrients. Yes. Anyways. Yeah, and then afterwards, when I came to Korea, I kind of got bored with Subway and realized that Subway is like a university student food. But then there was this new kind of brand suddenly in the middle of our office area. It's called Quiznos. And it kind of looked more premium. I don't know if it is, but I kind of liked Quiznos better than Subway. It tasted better. Yeah, but anyways, end of story. My constipation got better with Subway. Denny's and IHOP, yikes! Why yikes? Yeah, I went to those places over and over again when I was in Anaheim. There was what was that place? Rocco's. Yeah, the chicken and waffle. And where did I also go to? I got warned from a lot of locals when I was in the US, my recent visit. When I told them I went to Denny's and IHOP for the first 2 meals, they were like, oh my gosh, rolling their eyes. They're like, okay, but do not ever go to Applebee. Applebee? And I was like, okay, I'll keep that in mind. And I saw a few, but I never went. Yeah. These random fast food places. Can you give us a traffic update at 4? How is the morning traffic? There's no traffic right now. Actually, since you mentioned that, okay, I'll get back to that after reading some comments. Not a steak party. It was so cheap, I am wondering about the quality. It was okay. But then back then, us, like beef, oh, this much? Wow, that's so good. Beef and rice is delicious. Yes, it is. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Not another shit story. Constipation due to lack of fiber, exactly. Too much protein can cause constipation. Yes, yes, exactly. Only meat and rice will do that to you. Uh-huh. Men. Spot on. This is the root of all these problems. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Those Subway meals did the trick, yes? Ah, the Quiznos toasted roll. Sounds like the typical broke college student, yes. Yeah, Applebee's, yeah. TGI Fridays is now pulling out from Korea for some reason. Family restaurants aren't doing good here. People were throwing up warnings? I don't know. Like, the people I met there, they were like, okay, but don't go to Applebee's. Yeah. For some reason. I don't know. Yeah, and going back to Mike's Mike's comment, unrelated, but I have something exciting to announce. Yesterday, I stayed up the whole night. Not kidding. Once I realized I was done, it was like 5:30 in the morning, and I started from midnight. And this is very exciting. You will be seeing high quality IRL live streams soon on KPC. In real life live streams. In real life live stream? In real live streams? Anyways, IRL streams. So I finally figured everything out after doing so much research on the internet. I don't have to buy these stupid streaming decks and modems and gear with backpacks and all that. And I'm not just using my phone. It's not like the basic phone thing. I can add chats. I can use all of these like logos, socials, these banners over here. And I found a perfect way to implement all of that with a very easy method. Hands-free, not totally hands-free, but compared to all the other solutions on the internet. There was this one very small YouTuber that just introduced this solution, and she deserves way more credit, because all the other solutions were like, you gotta buy like $1,000 equipment, and you gotta buy like power banks and like USB-C type cables, and that enables this and that and blah blah blah. You have to have a backpack and all those. It's more difficult than it seems. It's like, of course, if you just have your phone and turn on your YouTube live stream, then that's that. You can do that. But if you want more, I can actually utilize my Osmo Pocket here, this camera, with like an actual good mic and all these interfaces on the screen over here. Outdoors for seamless for more than 2 and 3 hours. So I will be going out and about exploring Seoul with you. Let me know if that's what you want to see, or if you just prefer me sitting my ass down in my room and just yapping on, that's fine too. But yeah, I showed David. Yes, David will become a nuisance streamer like Johnny Somali. Yeah. When will we see the live streams? Probably starting from next week. I'm down to test next week. Yes. Sounds fun, yeah. So where do you want me to explore? Where is the place you want me to go? So I still haven't figured out one thing though. So I'm a little bit shy. No, it's not being shy. It's not about being shy. Like, I can definitely like hold up my phone and like my selfie stick and go around and just like talk to myself. Like, that's not a problem anymore. Like, I'm not shy. I'm not, yeah, that type of shy. The part I'm more concerned about is like if I were to go to crowded places with a lot of public and traffic. um, I'm just like concerned about people having negative feelings or looks towards me when they know that they might be in the screen, or like they might, like my live stream might be broadcasting them. And quite honestly, if they were to claim for copy their portrait rights, and they find my channel and make complaints, then technically I would have to take it down or at least blur them, because like portrait rights are very strict in Korea. It's not like the US or other places where if you're in a public space you have the rights to film other people. So like I am just going to film like the neighborhood or the places I'm going to go, and there will be people there obviously, and you will see faces. I can't blur them out in real life. And if a person, like in an emergency situation, if a person comes up to me and says like, I was in that stream, right? Like I want it deleted, then I would have no choice but to go back and like cut that part or do whatever. But like what I'm talking about being shy or concerned is that part. So I'm trying to figure out how to make a subtle, like a stealth kind of way to minimize my camera appearance. And the best way I've found so far is to wear like a vest or backpack that has like a mini pocket over here, so I can just pluck my Osmo there, and then it would just like show the front view, and then whenever I have to show my face I could just point it at myself and rotate the camera. But then that defeats the whole purpose of not having a bag in the first place, which I struggled so hard to solve. But maybe that might be the only solution. But yeah, you know how those like soul walker kind of videos go to like these populated places and they film people and stuff. I think they all do it in stealth mode. They either have it on like there's like cameras where you can attach it to a magnet on like a necklace that doesn't show inside, and like it's like a mini camera over here. I think they either use those ones or they use like the backpacks that have like the attachable pockets, and you can just like attach it over here, and so I definitely have to be careful with like stairs and stuff, because that might get into like sexual harassment kind of like territory. But I'm a pro, so I'm not gonna definitely show my camera when I'm going upstairs or whatever, but just in like public places. But let me know if there are places you want to check out. I've gotten a lot of feedback in the past saying that my IRL streams were really fun because they could see how Korea actually looks like, and you're just not staring at my face in my room. You're actually having like an immersive experience going around like Seoul and exploring new places normally where people wouldn't be able to access. So yeah, let's see how it goes. Soul City vibes, kinda. We love you yapping. Hello, Georgia May. Hongdae. Seriously? Go to Yangyang. Oh. Huh. Get a cameraman. Nah, that's not stealth. That is not stealth. Tour of a convenience store. Definitely doable. Definitely doable. Night market. Yes. Okay, I'm gonna save all these on my list, and I'll do these streams. That sounds very good. Yes, Oppa Yangyang style. Don't forget to bring a rod and fish and twerk on your live stream. Where did that come from? I can do the twerking, but what's the thing about rod and fish? Hi David, I thought you'll camp at SB with 2 screens and power strips. What? Take us to a park. Yeah, that's definitely doable. I could take you to the river. So cool. Yeah, so excited, right? People on the street are gonna hate it. Just ignore it. Yeah, that's the plan. Yes, like the Solo Walker YouTube, exactly. But it's more fun because you'll be able to hear my commentary, and I'll be able to chat with you real time because the whole interface goes into my phone, and I'm able to monitor all your chats my gosh, I want to give myself a pat in the back, like so much credit for figuring this thing out. Like, it's genius. I was like, well, eureka when I finished. Damn, I am talented when I finished this whole, thingy. Like using this one, connecting to this one. There's a power bank over here, and like the whole interface working. Oh my gosh, I'm so talented. There's no software that blurs faces in real time now. There might be in the future for AI. I think, actually, that's a really great business idea. I don't think it's going to be that hard to implement, actually. Actually, that's a good business idea. I think there probably is something out there, but yeah, if there's not a lot of competitors for the live stream market, especially in places like Korea, that would be great if you can blur things out. But then at the same time, the fun of IRL streams is actually kind of looking at like the locals, how they dress, how they look, and stuff like that. So you kind of bend you stretch into those gray area territories. Unless someone actually comes to your stream and files a complaint, you just leave it up there. But there are some past cases in Korea where people were just caught on live streams by random, and they were having an affair, and that was used against them in legal court. And the couple, the affair, the people that got caught in an affair sued the YouTuber because they got exposed because of that, and it caused them a divorce and financial damage and status damage and all that. So yeah. So many YouTubers are always filming the cafes. Don't you have amusement parks? We have Lotte World and Everland, but that's about it. Yeah. I liked it one time when you went to the convenience store, since it was so cool to see all the products. So I'm first going to go to E-Mart and get my dinner with you guys during 9:30 at 9:30 and get all those 40% discounts I was always talking about. Hello, Poppy Wells. I'm up for that. Looking forward to watching this. But the problem here is, so I was thinking about, I was like doing all this simulations yesterday. One thing is, I'm sad to say, I was actually willing to test it out today, but today you got to know it's a Sunday to Monday time, and it's 4 a.m. in the morning. If I go out right now, even if I go to Itaewon and Hongdae, there's not going to be a lot of people. All of the businesses are going to be shut. So if it was like a Saturday 1 a.m., then it would be like all fiery. But like I would have to change the time or date at least. Yeah, I would have to change the day and time to do these. So most of the regulars, if you're adjusted and accustomed to this time, you would have to either join the replay gang or, you couldn't join real time. So I feel sorry about that, but I'll try to accommodate a middle ground so that I can maximize the amount of regulars and viewers. So let's see. Go get girls' numbers in the city. Let's watch you found your wife. Don't be scared. Actually, you know what? Funny thing, I got inspired by this YouTuber I watch. He's Korean, and he used to have a Japanese wife. He got divorced recently, but yeah, that's TMI. Anyways, that's a big narrative on his channel. But he used to be a tech YouTuber, but he just does tech reviews in such a comedic way. That's how I found it, and I became like a loyal subscriber ever since. And he was doing a IRL stream yesterday in Tokyo, and I think he was in one of these popular areas in Tokyo, Ueno Station, and he was trying to I don't think he was trying to pick up girls, but because there were a lot of girls there, like the chat was all like, oh, go to that girl, ask her number, because I told you, like, the context is he's a divorced guy now, and he's looking for a spouse, he's like looking for a partner, and yeah, so people were like shoving him, And I thought that would be really fun. So I got inspired by that, and then that motivated me into like digging into, you know, all these streams, streaming tech, and yeah. So, dude, Busan, yeah, definitely I could do Busan now with my gear and my setup, no problemo. But I have yet to actually test it. So in the field, some things usually go wrong. So I might be stressed out, especially I'm not keen to do it in this weather. I'd be sweating, but just do it, right? That's the spirit. So I'll try. Are you gonna address us as chat? Yeah, let's do that. Chat. I've always tried to do that. Wanted to do that, like as iShowSpeed does. Yeah, I've watched a decent amount of iShowSpeed IRL streams. Just the highlights when he went to like China and Korea and other places. Go to the North Korean border and twerk there. If someone gives me like $1,000 donation, I'm down. I'd go to the DMZ and go to like the observatory and twerk in front of the a binocular so that the soldiers can see me. Yeah. As long as you don't say, "Are you open-minded?" I could actually try doing that in Hongdae. But then, like, I would feel so out of place and embarrassed because, like, I'm an old ass man, and Hongdae is not a place I belong. Like, people are gonna judge me so hard. This 33-year-old guy in Hongdae doing an IRL stream and going up to foreigner girls and say, "Do you live alone?" No, that's a nightmare. Autumn is going to be awesome, so I'm preparing for that. Definitely. Get the Ray-Ban Meta glasses. Those are illegal in Korea, from what I know. Like you can buy them overseas and take them into Korea and use them, of course, but you can't purchase them in Korea. They're not imported here because of the laws or the sentiment of like hidden cameras and such. Yeah, there aren't like laws ready for public usage and portrait rights. It's very complicated. The cheaters are suing Coldplay for that. Exactly, something like that. Pampo Bridge and Cheonggyecheon. Yeah, I can go to all these places. So, yeah, I would pre-plan where I'm gonna go. Put up a community post. This week I'm gonna go to this place and show you around. And I could talk about anything. So it's gonna be very fun. Sounds good. Yes, I'm really glad that you guys are excited for this. And 327 people watching. Yes, at 4:15 a.m. This is why I love doing streams. And this is another reason I love doing streams. $10 from Maddie Hunt for your IRL adventures. Thank you so much. And imagine me doing these reactions outdoors, like this random guy. Imagine I'm stuck in a subway and I'm like being quiet, like, guys, I probably have my AirPods on as disguise, like so that it feels like I'm doing a FaceTime to myself for what it's worth. And then like suddenly someone sends like a PayPal and I'm like, everyone's watching me and like, pizza. People are like, what the hell is that guy doing? Oh, that'll be funny. Do IRL date streams. Yeah, that would be fun. Like, so many infinite possibilities, right? And now, I do have to admit, KPC has kind of changed into a live stream channel. Like it or not, I do not like to brand the channel as a live stream specific channel, but because of my track record and my recent complications and schedules, it has become somewhat of a live stream channel. So why not double down on it and do more lively live streams, right? Yes, let's do it. Oh yes, Tracy, keep them coming, guys. Coffee for the walking tour. Yes, pizza in front of the binocular. Yeah, 30 is too old now. In Hongdae it is. And in Hongdae, you can't. I get rejected from a club. The bouncer, you call them bouncers, right? The security, they check your IDs, and if they see If they see my ID and my year, they're like, nope. Nope. As much as I appreciate it, I am old. Stop, you're still young. I appreciate all your, yeah. My dog just woke up and she's scratching her head like crazy. Doing a temple stay. Yeah, but I could do that, but I don't know if I could film. If it's like by myself, I could film it. But if it's with other people, if it's like in a closed environment, I don't think I would be able to do like an IRL stream. It has to be like actually in the public. Oh no! Oh no, you had a heart attack 3 weeks ago. Facing heart surgery. Oh no, I hope you recover real quick. And oh no. If you are actually going to go into heart surgery, hope it really becomes a successful one. And I hope you don't have to go through that ever again. Let's all pray for Poppy Wales. Send her energy. Send him or her energy. Yeah. Yeah, stay strong. That's really intense. Yeah. Oof. You did like to see another department store mall. Yeah, that's the thing too. So in the past, when I used to do vlogs with like my cameras and stuff, if you hold like a selfie stick and a camera in a department store or mall, the security will probably come, and they do come, and they say, "What are you filming?" And you just say it's YouTube, and they say you're not allowed to do that. I'm like, why? It's a public space, and they say, before it's a public space, it's private property, and it's like it has an owner, it's a business, and we do not allow filming without admission, without like pre-scheduled, with the staff. And they don't kick you out, but they tell you to delete the footage, and they don't let you do it. But there are a lot of people that just, do it in stealth mode anyway. So with my setup, hopefully I'll be able to do like department store streams and malls and stuff. You're best when you're live and improvising. Thank you. Could you do an episode about foreign students, especially graduate level? Yeah, for sure. Like, I remember when we used to get less than 100 viewers during live streams. Now we get closer to 300. Yes, this is great. Press that like button, guys. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I miss the Anna joint lives. Or actually, I could go to Gangnam and actually call her up, like spontaneously. Like, let's check. It's like a loyalty test. I just go to one of my friends' areas without any notice before. I go to like Gangnam and call up Anna, and she's like, "What's up?" And like, come out. I was like, "Why?" I'm live streaming, and I'm seeing if you're actually gonna come out for me. Stuff like that. I could go to like somewhere Subini lives and call her out, or where Kelsey lives and call her out. Oh, actually, oh my gosh. Oh yeah, I just remembered something. So I have to meet Kelsey because my host in Sweden actually prepared a gift for her, but things have been so hectic and it's been so hard to schedule. I couldn't. Like, I actually set a date with her, not a date, but like a date, a calendar date with her, and we were supposed to meet, but because of one occasion it got canceled on Kelsey's end, and then on the second date it got canceled on my end because I got insomnia that day and I couldn't like sleep, so it got delayed, and then she actually sent me a Kakao text sending like, "Oh, could you please mail it to me via the mail?" But then I didn't have I didn't read it yet because I wanted to like remind myself, but then it just slipped my mind and I didn't have time to go to the post office, so I need to go to the post office, give her that gift. Yeah. Oh my gosh. But yeah, I could go to Yeonnam and like, call Kelsey out. and I could go like where John works at Arirang, and then maybe get a tour of the station. Do you already have potential sponsors, local restaurants, city tourism? It would be a win-win for everyone. I guess so, but like they don't really have the reason to, pay a streamer like me unless I'm like BTS, right? Seoul is just out there, and a lot of people are making content about it anyways. Yeah, I've noticed a lot of foreign travel YouTubers, travel or not, that's just vloggers in general, visit Seoul nowadays, and all their titles are the same, like first time visiting Seoul, it's not what I expected, oh my gosh, mind blown, and thumbnails like that, and it gets like 300k views, no exception, every single one of them. So yeah, Seoul is definitely riding its high right now with K-pop demon hunters, BTS, K-dramas, everything. Joyful One, yes, thank you for the 5 pizza, good luck with the IRL streams, looking forward to them. Fingers crossed and no technical difficulties. Yeah. I'm also like, I'm so ambitious right now. I'm also thinking of trying to buy some equipment where I can level my camera and like attach it to my car so that I can give you like a window view of like the street and the city vibes, and I'll be just like talking in the car while I'm driving. Yeah, because I do like Instagram drive lives anyways. Technically that's illegal, I think, but as long as your eyes are focused on the street, I think it's okay to talk by yourself. Yeah, but that's a little bit of a gray area, but if it's a one-off thing and if I just stop my car and talk, that should be fine, but I'll have to rethink that because of safety purposes. Yeah. Just put your camera inside a fake parrot and set the parrot on your shoulder. That's very innovative. But the purpose is to be stealth. And wouldn't that defeat the purpose? Every person that isn't even that would have not given me any attention would look at me if I have a parrot on top of my shoulder. It would be so much fun to see Anna on the stream again. She has picked up vlogging. Oh, has she? Oh, really? Hanbok. Oh, yeah, I could go to Gyeongbokgung Palace. Yeah. Anyways, okay, this got way too long. I haven't even covered half of the news, and we're already at 2 hours. So, yeah, let's go back to the news a little bit. Would you do live watch parties? Oh, the technical difficulties of that is going to be very hard, especially in terms of copyright. So I don't think that's possible, but speaking of watch parties, you can go to Patreon. Only for $5 you can watch shows like S-Line with me, and also 84 Square Meters, and also Trigger upcoming. I've been spoiling this forever, but I've been stacked with other duties and schedules, so I promise it's coming. Pro Yapper. That would be hilarious, and it's you talking to the parrot like it's an actual parrot. Actually, though, like that could be my gimmick. Like a parrot, and like I talk to it, and I'm actually streaming. That's actually a great idea. Yeah, this is more fun than the news. Okay. I'm sorry, guys, but I prepared this stuff, so I just want to finish it. Yeah. Maybe you should start setting time limits. Yeah, I know, right? Okay, let's go to this one. I'm sure pretty much a lot of people might be expecting this one. So, mediation between NewJeans, Minji Daniel, and agency ADOR fails. So this is basically it, that one headline. The two members of NewJeans, along with the legal representatives of ADOR and the girl group, sat down for a mediation session from 2 p.m. to 3:20 p.m. at the Seoul Central District Court on Thursday this week, and the two sides repeated their stances, but did not come to a mutual understanding, according to reports. When the two members were asked what was covered during the session by reporters, they exited without answering. So, I mean, the court has already ruled in favor of HYBE and ADOR. NewJeans is banned from doing any external activities. They can't do any endorsements or advertisements. They can't do any activities. So things are not good. And because there was like this mediation session, some people had their hopes up that they would come to an agreement, because it's an uphill battle for them, and they've been doing this for so long, and people are like, oh, when is it going to be over? It's not good for them either. Their image is already so ruined and tarnished. So yeah, it might be a reasonable thing to take the deal, whatever the deal is, like just wrap up the conflict and go back to ADOR. Since Minijin actually, what was it? Minijin actually won her. She didn't win her case, but like everything got like rejected. Like HYBE's claims got rejected about Minijin trying to overthrow ADOR and steal NewJeans and whatever. So because of that tide change, people were maybe thinking, oh, if NewJeans comes up with the conditions that Minijin is going to be reinstated as the ADOR director, maybe that would be the terms, and then NewJeans could come back to ADOR and HYBE could accept them. And especially when the leadership right now is pretty weak, where Bang PD is getting attacks from external forces like the government, the financial institution, and like the tax service. So a lot of things are in the air. So this might be actually a good time, if you think about it, to make a deal. But it didn't happen. And actually, I was watching this real time on the news. A lot of people were watching it, tens of thousands. And this is actually one of the biggest cases that happened over the last year and this year in terms of K-pop. So all people's eyes were on it, and the special occasion for this one was the judge actually demanded that the members would physically attend this mediation session. So that's another reason people had high hopes. Like, oh, the judge must have something, decisive. But it was very funny when I was watching the chat real time, and when Minji and Danielle came out, people were like, oh no, the deal's a no-go, because like these two are the most hostile members towards ADOR. They're the most like mature and outspoken ones about it. So people are like, oh, if it's these two members, then it's no. So and they were accurate. They were right. So I was actually trading HYBE stocks. So HYBE stocks were fluctuating real time because of that. And I was just trying to get a cash grab, just some allowance money, because like these kind of events, like if you're in the K-pop sector and you can pretty much predict the outcome of these kind of events, you know which way the stocks are going to fluctuate. So I was like, yeah, like I don't feel like anything's going to happen. If it, like the common logic would be, if anything were to happen, if there were to be like a compromise or middle ground or any kind of deal, it wouldn't have come to this point. Like the court wouldn't have to summon them for a mediation session. They would have all done it through the back door or behind the scenes and taken it to the court, and it would have all been amended already. So the fact that the judge had to demand them to come, and these two members came, and it seemed like it was leading to nowhere. So I was like, okay, the stocks are going to go down, but because it's fluctuating right now, let me buy right now and then capitulate when it's up. So I bought, I think I earned like a couple $50 on that trade, but it was just for fun. And people were like dumping crazy when it was a no deal. But anyways, I think, this news has been dragging on. This issue has been dragging on forever now. As I told you, it's just not good for their image. Their advertisements are getting replaced all by aespa or IVE or V, Coca-Cola and all that. So yeah, it's not really good. I feel bad the members, again, like in a humanitarian perspective, but legally they're really fighting a very big challenge, and the chances that they're gonna win is very slim. So I think whatever card or deal they have in mind, it might be good to settle and take an agreement, but we'll have to see. Anyways, yes, that's the NewJeans update. If you were waiting for that news. B just says mediation is a waste of time. I even as a person that knows nothing about legal disputes, I would assume that, right? So it's pretty interesting to see all these HYBE fans and K-pop fans in like the stock market trying to like crystal ball the outcome when it's pretty obvious. Well, last time I did that with Blackpink's contract, I got punished really hard. But right now, all the entertainment companies are riding their all-time high. So, like, I got out YG a long time ago, but now it's like even more up, higher than the price I exited. And that brings you to this news, actually. K-pop labels killed it in the second quarter. Domes and dolls were the key. If you look at the information, JYP Entertainment logged a surprisingly robust second quarter according to its earnings report released on Wednesday, driven mainly by Stray Kids and Twice. Stray Kids and Twice is crazy popular. And you gotta give it to Twice. They have been working non-stop for the past, I don't know, even from their start, like the beginning of their career. And Stray Kids is just killing it in the US and globally as well. And if you look at SM Entertainment posted a 92.4% surge in operating profit to 47.6 billion won, also beating analyst expectations. Sales rose 19.3%, and whole net profit climbed 267%. It doubled. It almost tripled. So yeah, it saw robust growth in merchandise sales, setting a record of 63.9 billion won, up 46%. If you go to YG, Baby Monster and Treasure drove up the profits, and K-pop powerhouse HYBE posted a 29.5% increase in operating profit. So, like, if you look at this chart over here, not a single company didn't have an increase in profits, and they've grown so much. And people are saying that like the merch sales and the ticket sales have driven up the price. So K-pop right now is booming, and it's the right time to invest, especially when BTS is on schedule. They're coiling up for their comeback soon. There are a lot of bangers coming out soon, and right now, with the tailwind from K-pop Demon Hunters, the interest is exploding. I feel like K-pop Demon Hunters did a huge role in actually like gaining more non-K-poppies to the K-pop field. Because like Golden making it Spotify #1 and Billboard #1, Hot 100 #1, and Netflix #1. The impact is just amazing, and there are a lot of articles in Korea criticizing how Netflix, American Capital, and Sony Pictures, Japanese Capital, gained all the profit from it. But they're all just overlooking the fact that the content and essence itself is Korean. And okay, maybe the revenue from the content itself directly was beneficial to American and Japanese Capital, but soft power wise, and in a grand scheme of thing, K-pop Demon Hunters actually just put a huge catalyst in like an explosion of more and more tourists to our country, more interest in K-pop and K-dramas in general, K-food. So like while we're talking about K-food over here, just like this, buldak, the fire noodles. I'm sure everyone in the chat has probably tried it for now. We couldn't imagine this a decade ago, like a whole Korean hot noodle frenzy going on globally. This is crazy. And I heard that kimbap is super super popular in the West too because of K-pop Demon Hunters. They ate it in the show, and people were like, "What's that?" So like Bulldog smashed $720 million, a 1 trillion mark in their first half sales for the very first time. In Q2 alone, sales hit 553.1 billion with a half year total to I can't even pronounce this, 1.082 trillion won. How much is that? From celeb shoutouts to Coachella debut, the fire marketing really paid off. And what I was very surprised about is when I went to an Asian mart in Sweden and Scandinavia, one in Oslo, I remember vividly, I was craving some ramen, and obviously I went to an Asian mart, and I was greeted with no shin ramen, no jin ramen, no samyang ramen or anything. It was fully the whole shelf was all just bulldog, the fire noodles. It was a fire noodle original, carbonara fire noodles, chili mayo fire noodles, rosé fire noodles, all these different kinds. And I was like, where are the ordinary noodles? Where can I buy the shin ramen? That's the one I want. I don't want this. But the shelves were all full of that. It was a small store, to be honest, but like, yeah, that just showed the hype and the craze of it. And since I'm a stock guy, like that company has like gone through the roof. That company is called Samyang, and it's the oldest ramen manufacturer in Korea. It's the first ramen manufacturer, but it didn't get that much spotlight up to this day. It was just a steady seller, but Shin Ramen was the predominant number one seller in terms of ramen. But look at this. If you can see the chart over here, this is the Samyang chart, and from 2022 to 2023, and to now, if you see below here, how much does it say? It says 1,671%. It went from $77 to $1,369. That's like Nvidia level. That's crazy. So right now, K-pop, K-culture, K-food, K-cosmetics, K-beauty, Korea is where it's at. And I would actually give my 2 cents on people that are interested. Since you guys are exposed to Korean culture more than other people, you're tuning into my channel with that extra knowledge, I would actually maybe pursue a career path in something related to Korea, because money is flowing. I would say it's relatively a niche market, but also a blue ocean at the same time, because there's like, the sky is the limit, literally. Like right now, Korean culture is penetrating mainly the US market and some of the obviously traditionally Japanese, Chinese, and Southeast Asian market, but there's still a lot of potential in the European, African, South American, and other places as well too. So I think this is a very unique opportunity, and I actually know some people that work in the K-beauty industry, or they work they work in Hive America. They work for in the produce team for Cat's Eye and all that. So yeah, it's crazy. We went from NewJeans to all this. I don't even remember the stream, but yeah. Okay, let me read some comments. K-pop is killing it, definitely. Stray Kids are very talented. Yes, Twice is full of energy. Truth about Stray Kids and Twice. Can't wait for BTS comeback. It will be unreal. Yeah, once BTS comes back, it's gonna be phenomenal. Yeah. I'm never investing in entertainment companies. I got my fair share of a lesson investing in entertainment companies too, but right now I've been riding the wave, and it's been pretty sweet. If the market is booming, it's late to invest. Yeah, that's what they typically say. But when the next correction comes and everyone says, oh, we're fucked, I'm sorry, we're effed, like the market's toppling down. Oh, inflation's too high. Oh, we're not gonna have another interest rate spike. When when everyone says it's doomed, like look what happened to COVID. Sprang back up, and that was one of the generational buy times. So like I'm waiting for that, and once that comes, we gotta. I think K-pop and the K industry will be strong for a while. So I am pretty sure that HYBE is going to be strong for a while, at least when BTS is present. So I have no fear in investing in HYBE right now. Yeah, those are good. You never tried this because I don't like spicy noodles? Yeah, it is pretty spicy. I can't handle it either, but with milk I can to some extent. But it's a good stress reliever for me. I remember only being able to order bulldog online, and now it's in random stores around me. Exactly, it's crazy. They're teaming up with Jollibee? Wow. They sell bulldog in Texas, see? All these testimonies coming throughout the world. David, you need to get in the noodle biz. Oh, maybe, yeah. I might make my own noodle and say ramen and chill. Yeah. There's a collab between Bulldog and Panda Express? Really? Dynamite sweet and sour chicken? Whoa, that's crazy. Rima Ray. Whoa! I haven't seen that color in a while. Whoa, before I read your comment, thank you so much, Rima. If that's how I pronounce your message, your name. Pizza, extra string cheese, pizza pepperoni deluxe. Wow, thank you so much, Rima, for the 100 super chat. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna put you on the Jumbotron for a while just to flex that red. Whoa. Hi, David. Just want to say thank you to you. I'm an Asian American mystery author, and I wrote a K-pop psychological thriller, Death of an Idol. And you are one of the YouTubers that got you interested in K-pop and Korean culture. So thank you and keep being awesome. Wow, congratulations on becoming a mystery author for a K-pop psychological thriller. Whoa. Okay. Wow, we gotta check that out. Death of an Idol. Let's check it out. Death of an Idol. Oh, it's on Amazon. Okay. Okay, I'm checking it out. Oh. It's over here. Death of an Idol, an addictive K-pop psychological mystery thriller sold to Mumbai Mysteries. Wow, it got 4.5 ratings for 64 people. Okay. He walked away from the spotlight, but some secrets and shadows don't fade. They follow. Ooh. A gripping and addictive psychological thriller duology set in Korea's glittering and glamorous K-pop industry from Reader's Digest and #1 Amazon best-selling author Rima. Wow. Okay. Perfect for fans of Stray Kids, BTS, Blackpink, EXO, and dark K-dramas like Flower of Evil and You. Whoa. Okay, guys. If you're interested, go check this out. Wow. This is awesome, Rima. Congratulations. Wow. Thank you so much. Death of an Idol. It's on Amazon. Go show some love, everybody. Wow. Thank you so much again. Woof. Oof. It got hot here. Wow. Thank you so much. Woot woot. 100. Yes. Yes. Rima Rich Mommy. She's a bestseller. Bestseller. Okay, wow. Wow. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oof. I got your name right. Nice. Where do I get the book? Oh, on Amazon. Yes. Wow, need to check that out. Yes. Do go check it, guys. Oh, you saw the book the other day. Someone was talking about it online. Wow. Ooh. Already. I think you got some of the profit Rima Ray made. Yeah, some of it. Hopefully, my stream can bring more readers to you as well too. Hopefully. Yes, congratulations, Rima. Again. Thank you. And Catherine, thank you for the PayPal. Sorry for noticing it so late. 10 minutes ago. Pizza, thank you for the 10. The lives are fun and informative. Thanks, David. Thank you so much. Pizza. Thank you. Thank you so much. Stray Kids are so popular in the US too. Ooh, okay. Absolutely. Thank you so much, David. Love what you do. Been a fan for a long time. Thank you so much. If I have the time, I can't guarantee, but I will check it out. Yes. Ooh. Found dead at 25. Mino's fall from his apartment building in Gangnam was ruled a suicide. No note, no witnesses. Oof. Mystery thriller for sure. Okay. Yep. Yeah, so, speaking of no note, no witness, and suicide, okay, weird segue, but yeah, this did happen, so we have some unfortunate news. Yeah, this happened, so I'm sorry, contact cut off. Firefighter suffering from depression after the Itaewon disaster goes missing. This is one of the big news that is hitting the online communities in Korea right now. This is the firefighter, and apparently he was one of the rescue teams of the Itaewon accident, the disaster. And yeah, he was like last seen at this toll gate around 2:30 a.m. on the 10th, and he exited the toll gate, stopped his car, and then disappeared. The last cell phone signal was picked up near an apartment, and police and fire officials have been searching for Mr. A since filing a missing person report, but have had little success. His family is distributing flyers in an attempt to locate him. And Mr. A was reported diagnosed with depression and received treatment after responding to the Itaewon disaster in 2022. In a media interview at the time, Mr. A said it was unbearable to place the deceased in the black area. My parents were having a hard time just from going to the scene, so I wonder how the victim's parents felt. I thought if only this wasn't real. Yeah, I think it's so sad because he probably is weighing some of that burden on his shoulders. He probably is traumatized firsthand from the scene itself too, and through the process of, delivering the bodies, and also he probably has some weight on his shoulders that is unnecessary, because I'm sure he probably did his best, and he's actually a hero, but like he probably I mean this is all assumptions, but he probably might have been like depressed because like, what if I could have done this, and what if I could have like saved them in this way and that way. He might be like, revisiting that scene again and again, and that's getting into his mind, and he can't really get free from that. So this is all my assumptions, but since his parents and family say that he got depression after the incident, he was definitely traumatized. So yeah, this is so sad. I mean, it's been 3 years already. Wow, time flies. But yeah, that disaster, that accident was definitely like a huge scar in the soul of a lot of people in Seoul. And while Itaewon is now like lighted up and it's now all lively again, condolences are condolences, but small businesses and business owners still have to make a living in Itaewon, and we can't kill the whole district because of that. We have to move on at some point. So Itaewon is now all lively, and it seems like nobody is actually like caring about it, but there's still a wall full of posters over there, and there's like a commemoration place in City Hall and in the front of Itaewon. I don't know if it's still there, but yeah. But this guy, I hope he didn't make a bad decision or anything. Yeah, so yeah, there were a lot of articles about this coming up, and I think it's needed. This is one good side of media where the whole nation can be on a search for this guy, and hopefully, yeah, he is just missing and he's found. Yep. So sad, I know, right? Poor firefighter, he still had trauma years after. I can only imagine, yeah. You know, you saw the news early this morning. Either way, hope they find the, yeah. Let's not be too, decisive. Oh my god, so sad. He's haunted by it all. Yeah, for sure. PTSD, for sure. You know, imagine seeing in the middle of Seoul. Like, I've seen when the thing was happening, real time, not afterwards in the morning or anything. I'm a night owl, right? So I was just on the internet and my phone started to blaze because my friends were reposting these community posts and they were like, this is not happening. You can't believe this. And I checked it out and I saw the raw footages of the Itaewon incident and I almost got traumatized by that. I shouldn't have clicked on that link. I did not know what I was going to see, what I was to expect. But when I saw that video, that was like, oof, that was horrible. It's the first time I've seen a person actually like lose their life on camera. It's not a movie or anything. It's like a real situation. It's not blurred. Like, yeah, like I don't want to articulate how it was, but it was very, very real and horrifying. Like, you could see the life going away from the body, and it was like, wow. And imagine a firefighter or one of the rescue ambulance workers like seeing that firsthand right in front of you. That is, yeah. They said he had been diagnosed with depression. Treatment is an ongoing thing. Yeah. I know mental illness is still a big taboo in Korea, but do firefighters and police have psychologists consulting first responders? I don't know about that, actually. After the Itaewon incident, a lot of people were concerned about the people involved, and they did have consultation and psychology, like therapy sessions and all that. That's what I remember from the articles, but maybe that wasn't enough. Yeah. Oh, poor guy, you met a firefighter on your trip to Korea. He didn't go to Itaewon but was on standby. He had a drink on memory of the victims. This poor guy, hope they find him safe. Yeah. Yeah. Live coverage, and it was devastating, right? Yeah. Let's pray for the best for him. Hope he gets found, and hope he doesn't, tear his family's hearts. Anyways, okay, let's switch the mood a little bit to some stupid news. How long have I been streaming? Okay, it's been 2 hours. Okay, we got a super chat first. Thank you, Michael. Would you say that Seoul's government has learned from the Itaewon tragedy? Were the right measures taken? I mean, no government is perfect, and we have a famous saying that says 소 잃고 외양간 고치기. That means fixing the barn after the cow is lost. So basically, you're too late. But that's the nature of all governments in the world, I think. Like, I don't think any government is good enough to prevent an accident, because accidents come unseen, and some accidents are preventable, but only in, like, here it's easier said than done, I would say. And I would say in terms of like security in Seoul, like, it's up there, but like nobody saw this coming in like a narrow alley like that. There were police patrols, but it wasn't enough, and it just got out of control. But definitely afterwards, um, I think the Seoul city government did a lot of stuff. From what the articles I remember, they installed, okay, these things are basic things, but they installed like AI security cameras that that what do you call it, like that gather information of crowds, like the density of crowds in real time, send it to like the 911 emergency centers, and monitor, like real time monitor through the screens about the crowd control. And if it becomes too dense, they deploy like officers to the scene. That's one thing. They also made like drone systems to patrol like populated areas and festivals and all that. If you go to festivals in general and these fireworks thingies, events where a lot of crowds come, the fences are way more sturdier. The police are very more strict about safety and concerns. And also, if you go to subway stations during rush hour in populated stations like Gangnam or Jongno, office areas, because like there's a lot of people going upstairs, been shoved in the compartments. There are civil workers that are having like light sticks and stopping people from like cutting the line from overhauling the subways and all that. And yeah, there have been a lot of like measures taken, and I think the government does need to take some credit from that, but nothing's enough at the end of the day. But I think they did at least what they could do, and most importantly, I think it's kind of faded away now, because I felt some of these kind of anxiety when I was in a crowd quite recently. I don't recall where it was, but the mentality of people got reformed after the Itaewon incident, because people saw that, witnessed that, and it became engraved in people in such a strong image, and in fear as well too. So whenever people are in crowded places, there's always someone who's always like preemptively yelling like, don't push, don't, like, let's go one by one, like, keep your distance, like, be careful. And everyone immediately gets reminded of the Itaewon incident. So I think there was a huge reformation in the mental mindset, collective mindset of Korean people. So all of that into effect, I think it does have like a significant change. Yeah. Yep. Yes, David, they had monitors letting us know how the traffic was in the walking club area. Okay, so let's go on to the stupid news. Yoon and Kim, who was the ex-first lady, they're both detained. What will become of their pets? The most important news in the world. I mean, I to be honest though, it's stupid news, but I am kind of concerned though, as a dog lover, like as a dog owner. I love dogs, and the ex-president used to have like a lot of dogs. So he got impeached. Now they're detained. Both of them are detained. The president is detained because of the martial law thingy. His wife is detained because of some accusations about like market manipulation. So I think it's the first time in history where a couple is now both facing jail time together and detained. But yeah, like a lot of people know that they had a lot of dogs, and he always showed his dog on his posts or whatever. And I don't think it was for media. I think he genuinely loves dogs to the point, if it's to the point they have 11 pets. Not only that, but the fact that they don't have a child, it kind of shows that, like, they take their pets seriously as well too. Yeah, I mean, I'm not very concerned because at the end they are rich and probably they have like relatives as well too, but then also it's 11 pets, so that's a lot even for a relative. And yeah, I don't know how much you have to pay someone to take care of 11 pets. So yeah, and then it's not only about like financially taking care of them, like even for the dog, like we're overlooking the fact that dogs have emotional bonds to their owners too. Like, imagine I have to be detached from my dog for I can't even leave her alone for more than 8 hours, 6 hours a day. Like my standard is if I'm out and she's alone more than 6 hours at home, I usually go to a pet sitter or just call in a favor from my friend in the neighborhood. But I never leave my dog alone more than 6 hours. That's like the standard for me. But yeah, I'm concerned for the dogs. I don't know about the owners. yeah, they can rot in jail or whatever. Yeah. Didn't she first get in the news first accepting expensive gifts? Yeah, she has a lot of accusations right now for luxury items, as like accepting them as bribery and stuff, market manipulation. Good night, Poppy Wills. Hopefully you have a fast recovery and good surgery. Effective one. Even the dog got arrested? What? I'm pretty sure that's not the case. Would you like to adopt one? No, my hands are full. No. Doggy jail. Why did this guy do something so stupid? I have no idea. There are conspiracy theories that he's actually a spy, a double agent from the other party. Because he actually was appointed by the Democratic Party, President Moon back then. Suddenly switched. So yeah, there are a lot of conspiracies, but let's not get into politics too much today. How do the Korean people view the Conservative Party after this? It is a shit show, I can tell you. Objectively, their approval rates are at the ground right now. They're in the process of trying to elect a new party leader, representative. There are 4 candidates, and 2 of them still stand by Yoon. They even have the catchphrase Yoon again, and they still justify that the martial law was necessary and there was nothing wrong about it because there were no casualties and it was just like a warning. And yeah, it's just stupid in my opinion. And quite surprisingly enough, these 2 candidates have higher approval rates within the Conservative Party compared to the other 2 that are relatively more sane, that are saying like the Conservative Party has lost their minds right now. We need a massive reformation unless we cut out Yoon and his shadow and his puppets and everything related to Yoon and start over and admit our flaws. Unless we do that, nobody's gonna support us. But apparently the old folks out there don't care about that. And it's sad as a conservative leaning neutral person. Yeah, my political spectrum is there, I would say, in terms of value and in terms of economics and policy. But yeah, like I cannot support the Conservative Party right now. Like There's no way, no angle that I'm like the approval rates are on the ground. Probably people in Daegu are the only people. Daegu, some people in Daegu, or some people in the Gyeongsang province. A minority, like maybe 15% of the whole population. Yeah, and there are a lot of like far right YouTubers and activists swaying the opinions in the Conservative Party, and it feels like they're just like they don't care. I don't know. They're just like destroying themselves. It's quite comedic if you look at it. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, talking about politics, I have one more news about politics here. So President Lee, who's from the progressive side, President Lee says no plans to absorb North Korea, urges Japan to face up to history for future. So this got a lot of controversy. And in his recent speech for the 80th anniversary of the liberation of Korea on Friday, he said, "We affirm our respect for the North's current system, aver that we will not pursue any form of unification by absorption, and assert that we have no intention of engaging in hostile acts." And yeah, that's what he said. And he also criticized Japan, saying like they need to apologize and admit their atrocities from the past once again. Something along the lines of that. It's the usual rhetoric that always goes from the progressive side. But why this is so controversial is because this is basically an act of peacemaking with the North again. It's always flip-flop, as I told you. If the Conservative Party is in president, they always are hostile towards North Korea. Their logic is like North Korea always betrays us, backstabs us. They can't be dealt with logic and rational, conversation or whatever. Whatever aid we send them, it just fills the belly of Kim Jong-un, not the people, and it fuels their nuclear weapons. They never say anything towards us, and I kind of stand by that. We were backstabbed a lot. Like technically that's not a wrong statement, but on the liberal side, on the progressive side, they're always like, like we shouldn't trigger them. Why do you keep on poking them? Just let them be. Just like war is not good in any kind of scenario. I also totally agree with that. Let's try to make peace. If it's that much, I would support. But then I don't really agree with the financial aid and other stuff as well too, the humanitarian aid, because yeah, I do believe that aid does not get distributed to the common people. So yeah, unless there's a transparent way, which is pretty much impossible with North Korea, I think those kind of gestures are pretty useless in my opinion. But yeah, trying to make peace and all that is good. But the historical fact is, though, like every time we've made acts of peace, they've always backstabbed us by bombing our facilities or sending missiles at a random island or sending spies and assassins to our country. So yeah, so it's a very complicated problem, but it always, as I told you, flip-flops between the administrations, and people are like, oh yeah, it's another rhetoric, again, and nobody really cares. But this time President Lee said we don't have any plans to absorb North Korea, so that is reassuring Kim up there, saying like, oh, we have no intentions to attack you, absorb you, or do anything with you. So yeah, lower your guards down, let's talk again. And once we start talking, they're gonna start making demands again. So we'll see how this goes. But I don't have that much faith about in terms of like North Korea and all that. Yeah, about Japan, it's just a regular thing. We always do. Yeah, it's always like owe up to your past mistakes. And it is a fact that Japan did apologize a few times before. Some leaders did, but we want the Germany level of apologies and education. So it's like we don't want like a surface level apology and say, "Oh, we apologized. Okay, bye." We don't want that kind of stuff. I think people want like a sincere apology, meaning as like a national education towards their people in the textbooks, like what Japan actually did during World War II, owning up to their apology, their atrocities, like actually letting their people know what the Japanese soldiers did to the Chinese and Korean and Philippines and everywhere, and making like memorials and places for like the victims, and also like apologizing properly and giving some aid to like existing victims like the comfort women, and not going to worship in their war hero shrines like the Yasukuni. That's where like their war criminals, aka war heroes in their own point of view, all the leaders always go and worship in those shrines. So that's like a big FU in our face. So yeah, is a verbal apology enough? I don't know, but yeah, it's this is also a very complicated situation because the new future generation, the current generation doesn't have any fault. But it's concerning though, like far right activists and propaganda in Japan is rising too. There's been a lot of articles now. I think it's a global trend. Far right agendas have been rising, surfacing in a lot of countries, not only Japan, but a lot of people in Japan have been mesmerized by those agendas, and they spread hate speech towards Korea, and it's been widely publicized. And yeah, some of them are now acting lawmakers, so it's concerning. Sadly, I don't think that will ever happen. Exactly. Is the dispute with Japan over the Dokdo Island still ongoing? Yep. It's going to go on forever. They claim that we are illegally occupying the land. Send Irene to North Korea. Ryan, why are you still awake? It always seems the less well-known places in Korea, just like the USA, have more right-wing supporters. Don't poke the bear. Russia paid big money to North Korea. I wonder what's actually going to happen with the current Trump-Putin summit. What the outcome's going to be. Is it all show, or is that actually going to end the war? Even if the war ends, a lot of people are salty about it. I don't think salty does justice in terms of words, but a lot of people are very angered by it. Especially, like, I can't speak on behalf of Ukraine for sure, but apparently a lot of analysts or critics or experts, whatever, they're assuming that that the terms of ending the war is going to be just like hand over the land, the Donbass territory to Russia, and then just cease fire, because there's going to be a lot of more casualties and more people killed. and the negotiations are going between the US and Russia, which is kind of ironic, but which is also a reality for countries that don't have much power, which is exactly what happened during the Korean War as well too. So yeah, that's the harsh reality. I don't know how the outcome is going to be, but a lot of eyeballs are looking towards that way, and we'll probably have a result by the end of this week, I think. I did hear that President Trump invited President Zelensky to have like a three-party meeting if talks go well, but who knows? Yeah. A negotiation without Ukraine at the table is not going to work. Yeah, like common sense wise it doesn't work, but like if you follow the logic of power in this world, sadly that's how it goes. So anyways, okay. Last news for today. It's almost 5:30 in the morning. Taiwanese tourists make up largest number of foreign visitors to Busan, and they favor iconic pork soup. Yay! Taiwanese have emerged as the largest group of foreign visitors to Busan with a strong preference for the city's iconic pork soup, Dwaejigukbab. 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 According to recent data released by the Busan Tourism Organization, a survey of 15,796 Taiwanese visitors revealed that 66.9% ranked the pork soup as their favorite local dish, followed by the Busan fish cakes, seed-stuffed hot dog pancakes. That's amazing. From January to May, approximately 249,000 Taiwanese tourists visited Busan, making Taiwan the top country of origin among foreign arrivals to South Korea's second biggest city. This is good news, and this has been on the news a lot recently, because this is hope for us. The fact that, although it's a specific country like Taiwan, a lot of tourists are coming to Busan. I think a lot, in general, not even like Taiwanese specific, a lot of people nowadays are wandering out from Seoul. In the old days, it used to be only Seoul. Like Korea was actually like a stopover destination to go to China or Japan. It's just like a 2-day trip in Seoul. And to be fair, that would be enough, like, you know, to go to the hot spots in Seoul, and that would be totally enough. I understand, but since the whole cultural rise of Korean content and everything, I think people are now getting more interested in other regions of Korea as well, and that's a good thing. And for the love of my own hometown, Busan, which is the second biggest biggest city, it has a lot to offer. It's a beachside city. It has very beautiful districts and great food like Dwaejigukbap, pork soup. It smells a little bit, but I love it. Yeah, so I'm glad that Taiwanese tourists, and they're from rich countries as well too. They're a rich country too. So yeah. I did see some racist comments. I'm not singling them out because it fits my agenda or anything. Literally every related news about this, because I saw this news like 5 times today, and I checked all the upvoted comments, and they were like, it's so interesting on how drastically different the behavior of these civil Taiwanese tourists are compared to a certain group of tourists from an adjacent country of Taiwan. And people were like, we greet you in Busan, please come more, we love Taiwan, Taiwan number one. There were comments like that. So yeah, people love Taiwanese tourists right now because apparently they're so very well mannered, and they're very polite, and they're rich too, and it's the high quality tourist a lot of people claim, and they're going to Busan. And Busan right now is seeing a surge statistically in the just the raw amount of tourists. And there's a lot of more money flowing in Busan because the current government is trying to disperse the governmental branches and offices to different regions. And the first case is Busan. They're trying to relocate the maritime whatever organization that takes care of all the ships and trade and marital life and whatever preservation to Busan, which makes sense because Busan is the biggest oceanic city, next to Incheon, I think. So they're doing that. They're trying to relocate like financial hubs to Busan as well, like the Busan International Financial Hub. Busan's always been famous for its International Film Festival. So there's a lot of content going on in Busan, and it's thriving. The biggest problem is that it doesn't have jobs for young people. So that's one problem to solve. But the opera house, the Busan Opera House, is almost finished. It's I think it was designed by a Norwegian or Scandinavian architect. It looked pretty good. Yeah, it was on the news, but I didn't bring it because I thought it was irrelevant. But maybe I should have. Yeah. But yeah, it looked cool. There's a funny story behind it, though. Let me just not badmouth my own hometown. But yeah, there was a little oopsie on constructing that opera house. But yeah, when that opera house gets built, apparently cruise ships from other countries can enter through Busan Port. And they can directly go to the opera house and enjoy concerts and operas and whatever cultural events. So yeah, Busan is good. That's the motto. That's the official motto of Busan. Busan is good. They have amazing drone shows. Yeah, a lot of good stuff. I see myself living in Busan in a couple of years, as I've told you, on and on. Yeah. So go visit Busan, guys. It's my hometown. Chris says, damn, I wish I could go to Busan. I was born in Korea but never been there. Definitely visit. Yeah, it has a lot to offer. Cleaning my house with David company. Okay, Busan is good. Time to get on a train to Busan then. Yes. Yeah, there's that film too. This is my pet peeve though. I understand that the film is relatively quite famous. It was invited to a lot of film festivals too. It's a good film. And it's fun. It's a fun one too. But every time, without an exception, if you see a foreigner YouTuber that takes the bullet train to Busan, which is the KTX, they always seem to squeeze in a joke about zombies. Like, they're always like, but I didn't see any zombies. And it's like, oh, I see what you're doing there, and your smirk behind the editing, but it's cute. But as a viewer of those vlogs, like, I like to see foreigners coming to Korea and capture their experiences in vlogs. They're all unique, but every time I see a vlog of a foreigner going to Busan, they always mention that when they're in the train. They're like, but there were no zombies, pleasantly, you know? That's cute, but that's now become my pet peeve. I get a little bit of, like, you know, chicken skin whenever I hear that. You've been to Jeonju though, 전라도, 콩나물국밥. Yeah, that's okay. Jeonju bibimbap is famous too. Jeonju's okay. It has the Hanok village, but that's about it, I would say. Hey, Nick BD, back in time. See the stream. Got back from seeing Oasis. Was a great concert. Wow. I know they're coming to Korea in October. Yes, I love Oasis. I would love to see them. I didn't get the tickets, but there was some controversy of them using a Ryzen flag, Japanese imperial flag, quite recently when they're coming to Korea, and people had a little uproar tantrum about that. But Korea is a country that accommodates Kanye, so yeah, I don't think that's gonna be a scratch in their tour in Korea. David, I would have never imagined you're from Busan from your Korean speaking. Do you still have your saturi? Yeah, I just spoke a bunch of saturi today with my friends at the sauna today. Yeah, it's overused. I know. You don't like jokes and puns. No, 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 no. No wonder Anna called you Villa. No, no, I like them. I think it's cute. But if it's like a overused joke, and as a viewer, I know it's new. It's a one-time opportunity for the vlogger to say that. I totally understand, but as the viewer that's seen so many similar vlogs and the joke always put in there, it's cute. It's cute. Piroso, I don't know. I'm totally, to be totally honest, like right now, I just literally don't have the manpower to operate the site single handedly without any support. So, right now, as I told you, it's just on hold. Everything's just being displayed as sold out. So, it's gonna take some time. Yeah. Uh, some of your friends want to buy from Piroso. Yeah, I know. It's a missed opportunity, but it's just so hard to maintain by myself. It's hard to even maintain a YouTube channel and my life. So imagine me juggling all that. Yeah. I mean, if only Jin were here. I miss Jin, but good news. A little update on Jin. He's moved into his new house with his girlfriend, and he's invited us over for a housewarming party. So Danny, Jin, me, and Leo, we're gonna have like a little house party uh, in, in probably 2 weeks or something. Yeah, we're gonna go check out his house. It's outside of Seoul. He got it from like a house lottery, so that's good for him. Getting a house lottery outside of Seoul is pretty easy. Like, people won't even take those houses because it's not speculative. The housing prices won't rise. So, if you really just like are okay with commuting back and forth outside of Seoul, like maybe 40 minutes an hour or something like that every single day, then Gyeonggi-do or somewhere like that is an option. You can get good housing over there. It's just that people like convenience in their life. They like to be in Seoul in the middle of everything. Just walk outdoors and be in the vicinity of all the convenience and fun. So yeah. Is Hattori different words, different pronunciations, or what? A mixture of all of that. It's mostly intonation difference and some word differences too. Yeah, it's the same as dialects, like the southern accent and yeah. Southern accent uses words like y'all, right? And yeah, they have their own way of talking, like in country music and all that. So it's the same. It's the same. It's literally just a dialect. So, when you put me on the spot, I can never do Satori because it's hard to just make a one man situation and to do it in two different versions, right? And it's kind of embarrassing too because it feels like you're acting. But when I'm just talking with my friends, it just naturally pops out. Like, 다무슨 갈까? 이제 찜질방 지기네 오늘. 와, 진짜 땀 빼니까 살 것 같다. Something like that. Though what I just said is like, if you're done eating, should we go? Like, wow, it's so good to sweat out. And wow, the tub is so nice. But if I were to say that in the Seoul accent, it would be like, 다 먹었어? 이제 갈까? 와, 오랜만에 목욕하니까 너무 좋다. 땀 빼니까 너무 시원한데? So that would be the Seoul accent. And the Busan accent again would be like, 다 웃음 가까 이제. 오랜만에 지지니까 진짜 좋네. 야, 지긴다. 지기네. I have KPC merch, but I haven't sold it yet. A lot of things on my to-do list. I'm in the acknowledgements in your book? Wow, what an honor. Thank you so much. I'm so honored. Wow. Thank you so much. I'll have to check that out now, for sure. You went to Jimin's Dad Cafe in Busan? Love the Buddhist temple there? Oh, are you talking about the seaside temple? Yonggungsa? Yeah, that's one of a kind. Yeah, you won't see any Buddhist temples like that. The one in Busan. It's by the sea. That's crazy good. Do you even sleep, buddy? No. I am not going to sleep because the stock market opens at 8 a.m. and I got to sell my stocks in the morning today. Let's see. What do I have? What am I going to sell today? So today my schedule is to sell I have a little bit of Kakao and Samsung, Naver, Samsung Biologics, Hyundai Motors, YG Plus. Yeah, that's on my list today. So I'm gonna sell all of them in the morning. 뭐하노? 아니 뭐하노? 밥 묻나? 난닝구 in 전라도 사투리 for underpants. 난닝구. Yeah, I'm not an expert in 전라 사투리. Stock market mention check. Yep. I'm American, have been living here for 35 years. Just love Korea. Wow, that's amazing. 35 years. Yeah, I've seen a lot of interesting YouTubers on YouTube documenting their lives after living decades in Korea. There's this one old man. I don't know if he's old or not, but he has like white hair. But he pops up my feeds sometimes, and he's just walking about in the city, talking about his experience living here for how many amount of years. Pretty interesting to hear those kind of perspectives. I don't really like sit through the whole videos, but I skim through like at 2x speed, and it's still very interesting. Yeah, because I'm a Korean content creator, my algorithm just sends me these kind of creators. There's also like a very knowledgeable professor that has like a podcast or interview series that talks very deep stuff about Korean culture. There's also David Tizard. He's a professor too. I was once on his podcast. He talks about Korean culture and politics, deep dives as well. Very interesting. I'm catching up on the stream, but I'm a dual citizen to South Korea and America. Wow, that's great. I'm jealous. I'm jelly. That's you? Really? Really? That's you? I need to search you up. The last video I saw, if it's you, was like something like how safe is Korea? Then you're walking around at like 4 a.m. starting from your neighborhood to like Cheonggyecheon and somewhere. That's actually you? No way. I searched up your ID and it doesn't pop up. I don't remember your channel name, but if that's you, wow, that's Do you have like a man bun? I think that's the distinct feature I remember from the YouTube. What's your YouTube name? What a coincidence. Yeah, maybe I'm confused, but yeah, there are a lot of YouTubers that pop up in my algorithm. Whoa. What are your travel plans for next year? Nothing planned so far. It's me? No, I'm 67 years old. Oh. I'm sorry if you were offended by the old remark, but yeah. Yeah, you should plug in your channel here. I'm pretty sure a lot of people would be interested. Tell us your channel name, please. If you wanna. And there's this other YouTuber. He's from Texas, Nick K. I think he's recently come to Korea, but he cycles around like rural parts of Korea through like scenic paths and bicycle paths like not even locals go through. And yeah, that's pretty interesting. Like I watch his content time to time when it pops up. I think he started to do live streams nowadays. Terry is not responding. Maybe he's shy. We all want to find his YouTube channel, but let me try to. Looking at like maybe. How do I find your channel? Yeah, I can't find your channel right now. It just pops up in the algorithm. But if you're keen, please drop your. Oh, you don't have a channel? What? Okay. Then maybe we're talking about something else. Okay. Yeah, maybe we are talking about. Okay. It was a confusion. I saw Nick K. He lives in Korea now. He'd be a great podcast guest. Yeah. I'd be down. Okay, guys. So it's 5:39 in the morning. My morning show, my morning stock show that I always tune into that starts from 6 a.m. is already up. These guys work so hard. Like, I can't imagine being a panel for a morning show that starts at 6 a.m. every single day, and they have to prepare like charts and reports and analyzations about like the US market the day before. That means they wake up at like 4 a.m. in the morning and prepare all that and do the live. That's crazy. Yeah, this is a channel I always watch. It's called Sampro TV. And right now, today they're going to be talking about semiconductor stocks falter, Dow Jones hit record high, and apparently a U.S. stock called United Health is skyrocketing. I know a little bit about it. It's because Warren Buffett exposed his mystery stock, and it was revealed to be United Health. It was severely undervalued because I think it was because of that incident. I don't remember the guy's name, but yeah. Anyways, yeah. Anyways, guys, that was it for today, I would say. I'm getting quite sleepy. Let's try to get at least 2 hours of sleep, maybe, before the stock market opens. Yeah, the CEO was shot, exactly. Ever since then, the stock went downhill like crazy, but apparently the market sees it as, that's that, but it's like the company and its services is irreplaceable or something, and it's undervalued, so a lot of people bought in on that. Thank you, Terry D. I need to say this, David is not Korean American. He's so well informed and one of the best creators. Thank you so much, Terry. Thank you. When is the next live? I can't assure you, but I'll try to do a IRL stream, plan that, and maybe post it on community. I always forget, but yeah. Okay, guys. Yeah, I'm having some like difficulties on doing it, but eventually I'll try to pump out some content. Yeah. Okay, guys. Hey, Lynn, you missed the whole thing. Exactly. Yep, you'll have to watch from the start. It's a 3-hour stream. Okay, guys. Soraya, Kel, Rachel, Chris, Talon, Kitty, Carla, everyone have a nice day, and I will go to sleep. Last check on paid pals. Nope. Just checking because I always miss, and I feel bad not shouting out. Nope. But yeah, and if you want to support the channel, please check out PayPal at Patreon at patreon.com/KoreanPizzaclub. You can get extra content, podcasts, watch parties of K-dramas with me, and all of that just for the price of a cup of coffee. Just save that trip to Starbucks or wherever, and you can support your favorite creator that's working hard until 5:43 a.m. in the morning. You see the clock over there, right? 5:44. Oh no, 2 4s. Bad luck. I'm gonna end it after a minute so that I don't get jinxed. Buenas noches from CDMX. Thank you, Maddie. Thank you, Norbert. Feel the vibe. Gugoi. Nova. I just pronounced your name and it was like Espa Supernova. Nova. Miriam, thank you. You watch Wall to Wall, still have PTSD. Oh yeah, I saw that you commented on Patreon. Yeah, I'll have to reply to that. But yes. Hey, KJ, Yana. Yes, thank you so much for the $5 pizza. What is that profile pic? Is that like a turkey? Or some kind of bird? What's Aaron? Hello. Bye. And good night, everybody. It's